Have you ever thought why your manifestation isn't working? You've whispered the affirmations. You've visualized the house, the healed body, the thriving business, the loving partner. You've written your goals. You've waited for signs. And yet, deep down, there's that quiet frustration. Why isn't anything changing? Here is the truth most people never hear. Manifestation isn't blocked because the universe is silent. It's blocked because gratitude is absent. You are trying to attract abundance while unconsciously broadcasting lack. You are asking for health while resenting your body. You are calling in wealth while fearing money. You are seeking love while focusing on what's missing. And the law of attraction, precise, unwavering, neutral, simply mirrors what you feel most deeply. The universe does not respond to your words. It responds to your emotional frequency. And gratitude is the frequency of receiving. When you were a child, you didn't manifest through effort. You manifested through wonder. You expected magic. You believed in invisible forces. You felt excitement before the gift even arrived. That feeling, that innocent certainty, was alignment. And somewhere between responsibilities, disappointments, and unpaid bills, that alignment fractured. Not because magic disappeared, but because appreciation did. Gratitude is not polite manners. It is spiritual physics. It is the magnetic field that turns thoughts into tangible reality. When you say thank you before something arrives, you collapse time between desire and manifestation. When you appreciate what already exists, you multiply it. This is why some people rise from debt to overflow, from illness to vitality, from loneliness to devotion, not because they are luckier, but because they changed what they honored. Imagine waking tomorrow and, before touching your phone, before scanning problems, you breathe and whisper, "Thank you for this breath." You feel your lungs expand. You acknowledge your heart beating faithfully through the night. You thank your legs for carrying you, your mind for thinking, your home for sheltering. In that moment, your body relaxes. Stress softens, and something subtle shifts. You are no longer surviving. You are receiving. From that state, affirmations transform. "I am healthy" stops being wishful thinking and becomes appreciation for the cells already repairing you. "Money flows to me" becomes recognition of every dollar that has ever supported you. "Love surrounds me" becomes awareness of every person who has shown you kindness. Gratitude turns affirmation into embodiment. And as your health responds, because stress diminishes and vitality rises, you notice energy returning. You choose nourishing food not from guilt, but gratitude. You move your body because you appreciate it. And your relationships begin to change, not because others suddenly improve, but because you stop rehearsing their flaws and start honoring their light. Appreciation dissolves resentment. It invites connection. It magnetizes respect. Money follows the same law. The moment you stop condemning your financial situation and begin honoring every bill you've been able to pay, every opportunity you've received, every lesson learned, you stop repelling wealth. You become trustworthy to receive more. Gratitude removes the energetic resistance that scarcity builds. Personal transformation is not a dramatic overnight reinvention. It is a daily practice of noticing what is already working. Each "thank you" rewires the subconscious. Each moment of appreciation strengthens faith. Each night, when you reflect on one beautiful thing that happened, no matter how small, you train your mind to search for evidence of magic instead of proof of lack. And slowly, quietly, mysteriously, life rearranges. Opportunities appear. Conversations align. Ideas download into your awareness. Healing accelerates. Doors open, not because you forced them, but because you match them. The law of attraction is always listening. The question is not whether manifestation works. The question is, what are you grateful for right now? Pause. Feel your heartbeat. Notice the air entering your lungs. Sense the fact that you are here, alive, conscious, capable of change. That alone is abundance. Stay in that feeling. Let it expand. Because from this frequency, calm, certain, appreciative, your next chapter is already unfolding. And this time, manifestation isn't something you chase, it's something you allow. And now that you understand that gratitude is the invisible current behind every manifestation, the journey deepens into something beautifully practical, something you can touch, feel, and live from the very moment you open your eyes in the morning. Because awareness alone does not transform a life, repetition does. Feeling does. Daily devotion does. And so today begins not with striving, not with chasing desires, but with something quieter and infinitely more powerful, counting your blessings. Imagine the first light of morning slipping through your window. Before the world rushes in with its demands, before your phone glows with notifications, there is a small sacred space, a breath between sleep and responsibility. In that space, instead of reaching for problems, you reach for gratitude. You gently scan your life and begin to count. Not mechanically, not hurriedly, but deliberately. You think of your body, perhaps not perfect, perhaps still healing, but breathing, alive, carrying you. You whisper thank you. You think of the roof above you, the bed that held you through the night, the air filling your lungs without you having to command it. Thank you. You think of one person who has stood beside you, one opportunity that once opened for you, one meal you will eat today. And as you think of each blessing, you allow yourself to feel why it matters. That feeling, warm, expansive, almost weightless, is the magnetic field activating. Because the law of attraction does not measure the size of what you're grateful for. It measures the sincerity of the emotion behind it. When you count your blessings, you are not simply listing pleasant facts. You are shifting your internal atmosphere. You are moving from lack to abundance, from tension to trust. And in that shift, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your mind starts searching for more things to appreciate. What once felt ordinary becomes luminous. The sound of water running from a faucet becomes a miracle of access. The ability to walk across a room becomes evidence of strength. The paycheck, no matter its size, becomes proof that money already flows in some form. And as you practice this daily, your focus retrains itself. Instead of unconsciously counting inconveniences, you consciously count gifts. This is where personal transformation truly begins. Because the mind that counts blessings cannot simultaneously dwell in complaint. The heart that swells with appreciation cannot harden in resentment. And so relationships begin to soften. You notice qualities in others you once overlooked. You express appreciation instead of silent expectation. And in response, people open. Conversations deepen. Affection multiplies. Gratitude, directed outward, returns amplified. And as that warmth expands into your relationships, it naturally extends into your health. When you begin thanking your body, even before it is exactly as you wish, you stop fighting it. You start supporting it. Stress decreases. Energy subtly increases. You choose nourishment not from fear, but from respect. You rest not from exhaustion alone, but from awareness that your body deserves kindness. And the body, always listening, responds. From there, your financial world cannot remain untouched. Because when you count your blessings each morning, you inevitably recognize the money that has already supported you, the education paid for, the food purchased, the technology in your hands. Even recalling these silently begins dissolving resentment around money. And resentment is resistance. When resistance softens, flow resumes. Ideas arrive. Opportunities appear. Synchronicities begin weaving into your days. You may not notice dramatic shifts immediately, but you will notice something subtler and more powerful, your emotional baseline rising. You wake with less heaviness. You move through challenges with more steadiness. When obstacles appear, you are less likely to collapse into, "Why is this happening to me?" and more inclined to ask, "What can I appreciate here?" That single question reclaims your power. Because counting your blessings is not denial of difficulty. It is alignment with possibility. It is choosing to anchor yourself in what is working so that more can work. And the more consistently you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Gratitude stops being an exercise and becomes your lens. As night falls, you may find yourself reflecting again, not on what went wrong, but on what went right. A smile you received, a task completed, a moment of peace. And you feel it again, that quiet certainty that something is shifting, not outside first, but within. And from within, all manifestation is born. So tomorrow morning, and the morning after that, you return to this simple act. You count, you feel, you say thank you. Not once, not casually, but with intention. And with each blessing acknowledged, you are building momentum. You are training your mind to expect goodness. You are signaling to the universe that you are ready for more. And in that steady rhythm of appreciation, life begins responding, gently at first, then unmistakably, as if it has been waiting all along for you to notice how much you already have. And as the rhythm of counting your blessings begins to gently rewire your mornings, something subtle yet powerful starts to shift inside you. A quiet awareness that gratitude is no longer just an idea, but a living force moving through your day. And it is from this deepening awareness that tonight's practice emerges, simple in form yet profound in effect, inviting you to anchor your gratitude into something you can hold in your hand. Because as the sun sets and the noise of the world softens, there is a different kind of vulnerability that appears. Night has a way of amplifying whatever we carried through the day: unfinished conversations, financial worries, health concerns, silent disappointments. And if left unguarded, the mind drifts toward replaying what went wrong. That is precisely why this moment matters. That is precisely why you now introduce something tangible, a small object, ordinary in appearance, yet destined to become extraordinary in meaning: your magic rock. Imagine holding it now. Perhaps it is smooth from years of water rushing over it, perhaps warm from resting in your palm. It fits perfectly in your hand, grounding you, reminding you that even the smallest physical object can carry intention. And tonight, just before sleep claims you, you pause. You close your fingers around it. Instead of scanning the day for problems, you search for one moment, the best moment. Not the biggest achievement, not the most dramatic breakthrough, just the best thing that happened. Maybe it was a kind message. Maybe a productive meeting. Maybe your body felt strong during a walk. Maybe you found a few extra dollars or paid a bill with ease. Maybe someone smiled at you when you needed it most. You let that single moment expand in your mind, replaying it, feeling it, stepping back into the emotion of it. And as you do, you whisper the words that activate the law of attraction at its deepest level: thank you. In that instant, something remarkable happens. Your subconscious mind, which works tirelessly as you sleep, receives a final instruction before rest: look for more of this. Amplify this. Attract this. Because whatever thought carries the strongest emotion before sleep imprints itself most powerfully. And by choosing gratitude as the final frequency of your day, you are programming your inner world to magnetize more experiences worthy of appreciation. As this becomes your nightly ritual, a transformation unfolds quietly but consistently. You begin moving through your days differently. You start noticing beautiful moments in real time because you know you will later search for the best one. Your awareness sharpens. Your perception softens. What once seemed ordinary becomes highlighted with possibility. And the law of attraction responds not to desperation, but to this gentle expectancy. And that expectancy begins touching every area of your life. In your health, you start noticing when your body feels strong instead of obsessing over discomfort. You feel gratitude for energy instead of frustration over fatigue. The body responds to appreciation like soil responds to water. Tension eases. Sleep deepens. Healing accelerates. In your relationships, you begin recognizing small gestures of love that once went unnoticed. A supportive word, a shared laugh, a moment of understanding. As you hold your magic rock each night and remember these moments, resentment loses its grip, appreciation grows roots, and people, sensing your shift, respond differently. Conversations feel warmer, conflicts soften more quickly, connection strengthens, and even money, that sensitive subject so often tangled in fear, begins to shift under this nightly practice. When you recall the best thing that happened, sometimes it will involve finances, a new client inquiry, a paid invoice, an unexpected discount, a creative idea for growth. Instead of worrying before bed about what's lacking, you anchor your mind in evidence of flow. And flow, once acknowledged, increases. The magic rock becomes more than a stone. It becomes a symbol of conscious choice, a declaration that you refuse to let the day close in complaint, a reminder that manifestation is not forced through strain, but invited through focus. Each night you hold it, you are strengthening a neural pathway, one that links your identity with gratitude. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, your emotional baseline rises again. You wake lighter. You move through obstacles with steadier breath. You feel guided rather than pressured. The invisible manager of your thoughts, so to speak, begins recording more appreciation than criticism. And life mirrors that balance back to you. What makes this practice so powerful is its simplicity. It asks nothing complicated of you. Only attention, only sincerity, only a willingness to choose one beautiful thing each day and honor it. And in honoring it, you multiply it. So tonight, as darkness settles and silence stretches across the room, you reach once more for your magic rock. You feel its weight, solid, steady, constant. You search your day for its brightest point. You relive it. You feel it fully. And you say, with intention that echoes beyond the visible world, thank you. And as sleep gently carries you away, that gratitude lingers, like a quiet promise, already shaping tomorrow. As you fall asleep each night with gratitude resting gently in your hands, something even more delicate begins to awaken in your heart. An awareness that the true texture of your life is woven not from possessions or achievements, but from people, faces, voices, shared laughter, silent understanding. Because no manifestation, no abundance, no success has meaning without someone to share it with. And so the magic now moves toward the most powerful channel through which the law of attraction operates: your relationships. Think about it for a moment. Every emotion that has shaped you was sparked by another human being. Every joy amplified by companionship. Every wound formed in connection. Relationships are not side notes in your life story. They are the story. And what you hold in your heart about others, whether appreciation or resentment, becomes the frequency you broadcast to the universe. The law of attraction does not distinguish between what you desire in romance, friendship, family, or partnership. It responds to your dominant emotional state. If you quietly rehearse someone's flaws, you attract more evidence of those flaws. If you hold on to old disappointments, you magnetize distance. But when you consciously search for what is beautiful in another person, when you direct gratitude toward their presence in your life, something begins to soften and expand in ways that feel almost miraculous. Tonight, before you reach for your magic rock, imagine placing 3 faces before you. People whose presence matters deeply. Perhaps a partner, a parent, a child, a friend, a colleague who has stood by you. Look at them in your mind as if you are seeing them for the first time. Strip away the small irritations, the misunderstandings, the expectations, and ask yourself quietly, what do I truly appreciate about this person? Maybe it is their patience, their resilience, the way they once supported you during a difficult season, the way they laugh, the way they try, even when they fall short. Let the memory of their goodness rise to the surface. And as it does, speak their name in your heart and say thank you. Not vaguely, not habitually, but specifically. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for standing by me. Thank you for loving me in your own imperfect but genuine way. As you do this, something shifts in your own nervous system. The tension you once carried around them begins to dissolve. Your posture softens. Your breath deepens. Because gratitude is incompatible with blame. You cannot appreciate and criticize in the same breath. And when appreciation becomes your focus, the law of attraction begins rearranging the emotional field between you. You may notice it subtly at first. A conversation flows more easily. A smile lingers longer. A misunderstanding resolves without escalation. Or perhaps you find yourself responding differently, with more patience, more compassion, more understanding. And because energy is reciprocal, the other person feels that change. They respond to it. They mirror it. This is how relationships transform, not through forcing someone else to change, but through elevating your own frequency. The moment you become grateful for who they are, rather than resentful for who they are not, you release resistance. And when resistance is released, connection strengthens. Even relationships that feel strained or distant can begin to shift through this practice. Gratitude becomes a healing balm, applied not to deny pain, but to highlight possibility. When you thank someone in your heart for the lessons they've taught you, for the growth they've catalyzed in you, you free yourself from the emotional chains of bitterness. And in that freedom, your spirit feels lighter. And as your spirit lightens, it touches every other area of your life. Your health improves because emotional tension decreases. Your finances stabilize because collaboration improves. Your confidence rises because you feel supported rather than alone. Everything is interconnected. So tonight, as you hold your magic rock once more, let the best moment of your day perhaps be a moment of connection, a text, a smile, a shared silence. Let gratitude flow toward the people who color your world. Speak their names softly, thank them sincerely, and feel the invisible threads between you strengthening, glowing, becoming charged with intention. Because when you transform your relationships through gratitude, you are not just improving interactions, you are elevating your entire life experience. And as you drift into sleep with appreciation filling your heart, you may sense it clearly now, that love, when honored, multiplies. And the magic continues, quietly, beautifully, through every human connection you cherish. And as love begins to soften your relationships and gratitude gently rewires the emotional patterns between you and the people in your life, you may start to notice something even more intimate calling for your attention, the quiet, constant presence of your own body. Because beneath every conversation, beneath every ambition, beneath every dream you hope to manifest, there is a heartbeat sustaining you. There is breath moving in and out without your permission. There is a body working tirelessly, invisibly, faithfully. And it is here that the magic now turns inward. So often we think of health only when it falters. We notice our bodies when they ache, when they feel heavy, when energy dips. But rarely do we pause to appreciate the millions of processes happening flawlessly in every moment. Your heart beats over 100,000 times a day. Your lungs expand and contract with perfect rhythm. Your cells regenerate. Your immune system stands guard like a silent army. And all of it unfolds without applause, without recognition. Yet the law of attraction does not ignore your body. It responds to how you feel about it. If you criticize it, resent it, or fear its weaknesses, you create resistance within it. Stress tightens muscles. Anxiety disrupts sleep. Frustration amplifies fatigue. But when you direct gratitude toward your body, even before it is exactly as you wish, you shift the internal environment. Appreciation relaxes the nervous system. Gratitude lowers stress hormones. And in that softened state, healing accelerates. Imagine beginning this day by placing your hand gently over your heart. Feel its steady rhythm. Whisper, "Thank you for my strong heart." Move your awareness to your lungs. Thank you for each breath. Think of your legs that carry you, your hands that allow you to create, your eyes that let you witness beauty. Even if certain parts of your body are healing or imperfect, thank them for doing their best. Thank them for striving toward balance. As you do this, you are not denying discomfort. You are choosing to amplify wellness. And whatever you amplify grows. When you focus on strength, you invite more strength. When you honor vitality, you attract more vitality. The body listens to the language of emotion more than the language of words. So when your affirmation is infused with genuine appreciation, I am grateful for my body's resilience, it becomes a signal that travels deep into your cells. And something subtle begins to shift. You may feel lighter, more energized, more willing to nourish yourself with foods that support you rather than punish you. You may move your body not from obligation, but from gratitude for its capability. And this shift in intention changes everything. Health becomes a partnership rather than a battle. As your energy increases, it ripples outward into your work, your finances, your relationships. You show up with more clarity. You make decisions from strength instead of exhaustion. You respond rather than react. And abundance flows more freely because your internal state is aligned with vitality. Even if you are currently facing illness or challenge, gratitude remains powerful. Thank your body for the parts that are functioning beautifully. Thank the doctors, the treatments, the lessons of awareness this experience brings. Gratitude does not ignore reality. It transforms your relationship to it. And transformation begins the moment resistance softens. Tonight, as you hold your magic rock, let the best thing that happened today perhaps be a moment of physical ease, a deep breath, a pain-free movement, a restful pause. Let that moment expand in your awareness. Let appreciation saturate it. Say thank you with sincerity that vibrates through your entire being. Because your body is not separate from your manifestations. It is the vessel through which they arrive. It is the instrument through which you experience joy, wealth, love, and success. And when you honor it with gratitude, you strengthen the very foundation upon which your dreams stand. So breathe now. Feel the life moving through you. Recognize that even in this quiet moment, magic is unfolding inside your cells. And as appreciation settles into your body like warm light, you may sense a new partnership forming, one where your health responds gently, steadily, beautifully, to the gratitude you offer it. There is a quiet confidence that begins to grow when your body feels supported, when your relationships feel warmer, when gratitude has become the rhythm of your mornings and the final whisper of your nights. And from that steadiness, your attention now turns toward one of the most emotionally charged energies in human life. Money. Not just currency, not just numbers on a screen, but the symbol of exchange, opportunity, security, freedom. For many, money carries tension, old memories, scarcity, worry about bills, debt, missed chances. And because the law of attraction responds not to what you want, but to how you feel, those hidden emotions quietly shape your financial reality. If money feels stressful, it continues to arrive wrapped in stress. If it feels scarce, it appears limited. But when you begin to infuse money with gratitude, genuine, specific appreciation, its energy shifts. Think back over your life. Every meal you have eaten was touched by money. Every roof that sheltered you. Every book that expanded your mind. Every device in your hands. Every journey taken. All supported in some way by financial flow. Even if you have struggled, money has still moved through your life. It has served you. It has enabled experiences. And today, instead of focusing on what is missing, you focus on what has already been given. Take a moment to imagine holding a single bill in your hand. Look at it not as paper, but as a messenger. It represents someone's service, someone's time, someone's creativity. Whisper thank you for the food it can buy, for the comfort it can provide, for the opportunities it can open. When you pay a bill, instead of feeling loss, practice saying thank you for the electricity that lights my home, for the water that flows effortlessly, for the internet that connects me to possibility. Gratitude transforms payment into appreciation. And as that transformation happens inside you, resistance dissolves. The tightness in your chest when thinking about finances begins to soften. Your mind, no longer clouded by fear, becomes more creative. Ideas surface. Ways to serve more people, ways to add value, ways to expand your income. Because abundance is attracted not to desperation, but to alignment. This is where affirmation becomes powerful. Not empty repetition, but emotionally charged declaration. I am grateful for the money flowing into my life. I appreciate every dollar that comes to me and every dollar that goes out in service. When spoken with sincerity, these words recalibrate your internal narrative. They tell your subconscious that money is not an enemy, but an ally. And gradually, subtle evidence begins appearing. An unexpected opportunity, a new client, a discount, a refund, a timely idea. These are not accidents. They are responses. The law of attraction mirrors the gratitude you broadcast. The more you appreciate the money you have, the more you notice money circulating around you. Even if your current financial situation feels challenging, gratitude remains your leverage point. Thank the job you have, even if it is temporary. Thank the skills you possess. Thank the lessons learned from past financial mistakes, because they sharpen your wisdom. When you shift from resentment to appreciation, you open a channel. And through that channel, new possibilities flow. Tonight, as you hold your magic rock, perhaps the best moment of your day involved money in some way. A sale made, a bill paid with relief, a generous gesture received. Relive that moment. Feel the stability it offered. Say thank you with conviction. Allow that feeling to imprint on your subconscious before sleep. Because money, at its core, is energy. And energy responds to attention. When you bless it, it expands. When you fear it, it contracts. Your role is not to chase it anxiously, but to align with it gratefully. Feel that alignment now, calm, steady, confident. You are not begging the universe for wealth. You are preparing to receive it. You are becoming someone who respects it, circulates it wisely, and appreciates its presence. And in that quiet recognition, that money can be infused with gratitude just like health and relationships, something shifts again. Scarcity loosens its grip. Possibility stretches wider. And you sense it clearly. That abundance has always been waiting for you to greet it with appreciation. There comes a moment, after days of practicing gratitude for your blessings, your relationships, your health, and your money, when something begins to feel undeniably different, not dramatic like fireworks in the sky, but steady, like a quiet sunrise you suddenly realize has been brightening the horizon all along. You notice your reaction softening. You notice opportunities appearing with less struggle. You notice that what once felt heavy now feels manageable. And in that awareness, a realization begins to take shape. This truly works like magic. Not magic in the sense of fantasy, but magic in the sense of invisible laws operating with precision. Just as gravity holds you to the earth without you seeing it, the law of attraction responds to your dominant emotions without announcement. When gratitude becomes your foundation, life begins reorganizing itself around that frequency. Conversations shift. Timing aligns. Ideas flow. Solutions surface in ways that feel almost orchestrated. Think about the last few days. The way your mornings feel more intentional. The way your nights close with appreciation instead of anxiety. The way your interactions feel warmer because you chose to focus on what you value. These are not coincidences. They are cause and effect in motion. Gratitude changes perception, and perception changes reality. When you wake up expecting something good, your mind scans for it. When you believe opportunities are possible, you notice doors others walk past. When you affirm abundance with sincerity, your subconscious begins guiding your decisions toward it. This is how manifestation unfolds, not through force, but through alignment. There is a subtle confidence that emerges from this alignment. You no longer feel like you are begging life to change. You feel like you are cooperating with it. You trust that what you focus on grows. So you choose carefully. You choose appreciation over complaint. You choose visualization over doubt. You choose affirmations that feel expansive rather than restrictive. Picture yourself visualizing a goal now, perhaps improved health, thriving finances, deeper love, or personal transformation that once felt distant. Instead of imagining it from a place of lack, imagine it with gratitude as if it is already unfolding. Feel thankful for the strength in your body. Feel thankful for the income flowing to you. Feel thankful for the partnership filled with respect and affection. That emotional rehearsal sends a powerful signal. The law responds not to words alone, but to the feeling of already having. And the more consistently you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Gratitude no longer feels like an exercise. It feels like your default setting. You find yourself saying thank you spontaneously throughout the day, for green lights, for helpful strangers, for creative inspiration. Small moments stack upon each other, building momentum. Momentum becomes belief. Belief becomes experience. Even challenges begin to look different. When something unexpected arises, instead of collapsing into frustration, you pause and ask, what is the hidden gift here? That single question transforms obstacles into stepping stones. It keeps your energy from spiraling downward. It keeps your frequency aligned with growth. This is why it works like magic. Because you are no longer living unconsciously, reacting to circumstances without awareness. You are participating in the creation of your reality. You are choosing thoughts that support your vision. You are nurturing emotions that attract what you desire. And life, responsive and dynamic, mirrors that choice back to you. Tonight, as you hold your magic rock once again, notice how different it feels compared to the first night. It carries history now, nights of appreciation, moments of clarity, subtle shifts in your world. Recall the best thing that happened today, perhaps something that felt synchronistic, perfectly timed, unexpectedly smooth. Let gratitude fill you fully. Let it confirm what you are beginning to see. Because this is not luck. It is alignment. It is energy responding to energy. It is the quiet, consistent power of practicing gratitude daily and watching your external world reflect your internal state. Feel that certainty settle within you. Not loud, not boastful, just calm and assured. Life is responding. Doors are opening. Health is strengthening. Relationships are warming. Money is flowing. Personal transformation is unfolding step by steady step. And as sleep gently approaches, you rest in that knowing that what you practice expands, that what you appreciate multiplies, and that this simple, steady gratitude truly does work like magic. That quiet certainty you felt before sleep, the steady knowing that gratitude works like magic, will inevitably be tested. Not because the magic fades, but because life continues to move. Challenges appear. Unexpected words sting. Plans shift. Old fears resurface. And in those moments, negativity can feel powerful, almost convincing, as if it deserves your full attention. Yet this is precisely where your practice becomes transformative. Negativity is not evil. It is simply misdirected focus sustained for too long. It is energy turned toward what is unwanted. And the law of attraction, impartial and precise, responds to that focus just as faithfully as it responds to gratitude. If you dwell in complaint, you attract more to complain about. If you rehearse fear, you magnetize more reasons to fear. But the moment you interrupt that pattern, the moment you consciously pivot, you step into the magical way out. Picture a moment today when something frustrates you. Perhaps traffic slows your schedule. A client delays payment. Someone speaks sharply. The old pattern might be to replay it, analyze it, amplify it. Feel your body tighten. Feel your thoughts spiral. Yet now, because you have been practicing gratitude, there is a pause, a sliver of awareness. And within that pause lies power. Instead of feeding the frustration, you ask quietly, what can I appreciate right now? It may feel unnatural at first. Your mind may resist. But you search anyway. You appreciate that you have a vehicle to drive. You appreciate that you have clients at all. You appreciate that you have the strength to handle difficult conversations. That single shift begins dissolving the emotional charge. This is not denial. It is redirection. You are not pretending problems do not exist. You are choosing not to energize them. And when you withdraw energy from negativity, it weakens. The law of attraction no longer receives a strong signal to replicate it. Instead, it begins responding to the gratitude you are deliberately generating. There will be moments when negativity feels overwhelming, news that unsettles you, health concerns that trigger fear, financial uncertainties that tighten your chest. In those moments, the magical way out is gentler than you think. You do not have to leap into joy. You simply reach for the smallest thread of appreciation available. Thank you for the support I have. Thank you for the lessons hidden here. Thank you for the resilience growing inside me. As you do this consistently, you train your nervous system to stabilize more quickly. Emotional storms pass faster. You recover your balance with greater ease. What once would have derailed your entire day becomes a brief detour. This is personal transformation in motion, not the absence of difficulty, but mastery of response. Notice how this impacts your health. Stress hormones decrease when gratitude enters the picture. Your body relaxes. Sleep improves. Notice how it impacts your relationships. Instead of escalating arguments, you soften them with appreciation. Instead of harboring resentment, you choose understanding. Notice how it impacts your finances. Instead of panicking over fluctuations, you focus on opportunities and solutions. Negativity loses its grip because you no longer identify with it. You see it as a temporary state, not your identity. You remember that your dominant emotional frequency shapes your reality, and you choose, again and again, to align with what you want rather than what you fear. Tonight, when you hold your magic rock, perhaps the best thing that happened today was your own shift. The moment you caught yourself spiraling and gently redirected your thoughts. Relive that victory. Feel the strength in it. Say thank you for your awareness, for your growth, for your ability to choose differently. Because the magical way out of negativity is not found outside of you. It is activated within you. It is the conscious decision to pivot toward gratitude when complaint feels easier. It is the willingness to trust that appreciation holds more power than frustration. And as you drift into sleep, recognize the depth of what you are becoming. Someone who does not deny life's challenges, but who navigates them with intention. Someone who understands that thoughts are seeds, emotions are water, and reality is the harvest. Feel the calm settling over you now. Negativity may visit, but it no longer controls the narrative. Gratitude has become your compass, and wherever that compass points, magic quietly follows. Gratitude has become your compass now, guiding you gently out of negativity and back into alignment whenever old patterns try to reclaim your attention. And as you stand in that steadier awareness, you begin to sense that beneath every technique, every affirmation, every visualization you've practiced, there is something even more essential, something that determines whether these tools remain hollow rituals or transform into living forces. That something is feeling. That something is the magic ingredient. You can say the words thank you 1,000 times, but if your heart is distracted, the signal is faint. You can repeat affirmations about wealth, health, or love, but if they are spoken mechanically, they carry little creative power. The law of attraction does not respond to vocabulary. It responds to vibration. And vibration is born from emotion. Think back to a moment when you felt genuine appreciation, perhaps watching a sunrise spill gold across the horizon, or hearing someone you love laugh freely. In that moment, your chest may have expanded, your breath slowed, your thoughts quieted. That sensation, that fullness, that warmth, that is the magic ingredient. It is the emotional charge that energizes your thoughts and sends them outward like a magnetic pulse. As you continue this journey, notice how different it feels when gratitude is embodied rather than recited. When you thank your body for its strength and truly feel respect for it, your posture changes. When you appreciate the money that flows through your hands and genuinely feel trust in its return, anxiety loosens. When you visualize a thriving relationship and allow yourself to feel the joy of it as if it is already present, your entire nervous system responds as though it is real. This is why visualization becomes powerful only when infused with emotion. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the life you desire: vibrant health, financial freedom, loving partnership, purposeful work. But do not watch it as if it is a distant movie. Step into it. Feel the energy in your body as you move through that reality. Hear the conversations. Sense the confidence in your voice. Allow gratitude to rise for it, as though it is already unfolding. That feeling is the signal the universe understands. And as you practice this, you begin to see how every area of your life is influenced by this ingredient. In your health, it is not merely the thought, "I want to be well," that creates change. It is the deep appreciation for your body's intelligence that fosters healing. In your finances, it is not just the goal of earning more, but the genuine gratitude for circulation and opportunity that expands flow. In your relationships, it is not the desire for connection alone, but the heartfelt appreciation for the presence of others that deepens intimacy. Even in moments of challenge, the magic ingredient remains accessible. When circumstances feel uncertain, you may not immediately feel joy, but you can reach for trust. You can feel gratitude for your capacity to adapt. You can feel appreciation for lessons unfolding. Those emotions shift your vibration more quickly than forced positivity ever could. Notice how this awareness refines your daily practice. Counting blessings in the morning is no longer about quantity, but quality. Holding your magic rock at night becomes a sacred pause to relive the best moment with genuine emotion. Redirecting negativity becomes easier because you are attuned to how different emotions feel in your body, and you naturally prefer the expansive ones. The more you cultivate this ingredient, the more intuitive your manifestation becomes. You no longer ask anxiously, "When will it arrive?" Instead, you feel it forming. You sense alignment before evidence appears. There is a calm expectancy within you, not passive, but confident. And in that confidence, your identity begins to shift. You are not someone hoping for change. You are someone generating it through emotion. You are someone who understands that thoughts are seeds, but feelings are the fertile soil. Without emotion, the seed remains dormant. With emotion, it germinates and grows. Tonight, as you hold your magic rock, let yourself relive the best moment of your day with intensity. Feel it fully. Allow gratitude to move through you like warm light. Notice how real it feels in your body. Recognize that this sensation, this living, breathing appreciation, is the force shaping your tomorrow. Breathe into that realization now. The techniques are simple. The practice is steady. But the magic ingredient, the emotion behind it all, is what turns ordinary thoughts into extraordinary results. And as you rest, feeling gratitude not as a word but as a state of being, you sense it clearly. The magic has always been within the way you feel. The realization that emotion is the magic ingredient changes the way you look at everything, especially money, because now you understand that wealth is not simply accumulated through effort alone, but attracted through alignment. And as that awareness settles into you, a new identity begins forming quietly beneath your daily actions. The identity of someone who is becoming a magnet. A magnet does not chase. It does not strain. It does not beg. It simply embodies a frequency that draws compatible energy toward it. And when it comes to money, the same principle applies. The law of attraction responds to how you feel about wealth, how you speak about it, how you expect it to move through your life. If your dominant emotion is worry, you repel flow. If your dominant emotion is appreciation, you invite circulation. Pause for a moment and reflect on the emotional charge money holds for you. Is it tension? Pressure? Comparison? Or can you begin shifting it toward gratitude and trust? Because becoming a money magnet begins with appreciation for every dollar that has ever touched your life. The income you earned, the gifts you received, the discounts, refunds, and unexpected support that arrived precisely when you needed it. Even the lessons learned from financial hardship carry value. Gratitude transforms your relationship with money from fear-based to empowered. When you receive money, you feel thankful and confident in its expansion. When you spend money, you bless it as it leaves your hands, trusting it will return multiplied. That simple shift dissolves resistance. Instead of clinging tightly, you allow flow. And flow is what abundance requires. Visualization deepens this magnetic state. Imagine your bank account growing steadily. Picture yourself opening messages confirming new opportunities. See yourself investing wisely, giving generously, living comfortably. But do not stop at the image. Feel the stability. Feel the relief. Feel the pride in your ability to create value. Let gratitude rise as if this reality is already unfolding. That feeling becomes your magnetic field. Affirmations now carry greater power because they are charged with emotion. I am grateful for the constant flow of money into my life. I appreciate the opportunities that increase my income. Money supports me, and I use it wisely. When spoken with conviction, these statements are no longer hopeful wishes. They are declarations of alignment. Notice how this energy influences your behavior. You may find yourself acting with greater confidence in business conversations. You may take inspired action toward ideas you once hesitated to pursue. You may feel more open to receiving help, partnerships, or guidance. Because when you identify as a magnet rather than a struggler, your decisions reflect that belief. Even challenges become part of the magnetic process. A temporary setback no longer feels like proof of failure. It becomes feedback, a redirection towards smarter strategies or deeper resilience. Gratitude remains your anchor. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the opportunity to grow wiser. Thank you for strengthening my discipline and creativity. Each moment of appreciation reinforces your frequency, and gradually, evidence accumulates. A new client signs on. A raise is offered. An idea generates unexpected income. These are not random occurrences. They are reflections of your inner shift. The magnet within you is active. Tonight, when you hold your magic rock, let the best moment of your day involve money in some way, even if it seems small. Perhaps you found a coin on the ground. Perhaps you completed a task that moves you closer to financial growth. Relive that moment fully. Feel the appreciation expand in your chest. Whisper thank you with certainty. Because money, like all forms of energy, is drawn to clarity and confidence. When you are grateful, you are clear. When you trust, you are confident. And when those two emotions combine, you become undeniably attractive to abundance. Breathe into that identity now. You are not chasing wealth, you are aligning with it. You are cultivating the emotional frequency that welcomes it. With every grateful thought, with every sincere affirmation, with every visualization infused with feeling, your magnetic field strengthens. And as sleep approaches, you rest in that quiet power, knowing that the flow has already begun, that abundance is responding, and that the magnet you have awakened within yourself continues to draw prosperity closer with every grateful beat of your heart. The magnet within you is stronger now, humming quietly with gratitude and expectation, drawing experiences and opportunities into your life with increasing ease. And as you begin to notice the subtle evidence of abundance forming around you, a deeper realization emerges that every person you encounter is part of this magnetic field, part of this unfolding orchestration, whether they appear as supporters, challengers, teachers, or unexpected messengers. Money flows through people. Opportunities arrive through people. Love is expressed through people. Even lessons are delivered through people. No manifestation stands alone. It is always woven through human connection. And when you truly understand this, You begin to see that every interaction holds potential magic. There may be individuals in your life who uplift you naturally. The ones who encourage your dreams, celebrate your wins, remind you of your strength. Gratitude for them flows easily. But there are also those who test you, who mirror your insecurities, who trigger old emotions. And here is where the real transformation deepens. Because the law of attraction does not simply send pleasant experiences, it also sends reflections of your internal state, inviting awareness and growth. Imagine now that every person you meet is covered in invisible magic dust. Not because they are perfect, but because they are instruments through which life shapes you. The colleague who challenges your patience strengthens your emotional mastery. The competitor who pushes you inspires innovation. The friend who supports you amplifies your confidence. Even the stranger whose brief kindness brightens your day carries magic dust you may never fully see. When someone frustrates you, instead of reacting instantly, pause and imagine gently throwing magic dust over the situation. Not literal dust, but gratitude. Thank you for revealing my trigger. Thank you for showing me where I can grow. Thank you for strengthening my resilience. This shift does not excuse harmful behavior, but it reclaims your power. It prevents negativity from settling into your emotional field. And as you practice this, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your perception changes. You start noticing more kindness, more cooperation, more synchronicity in conversations. It is as if the world responds to your willingness to see its magic. Because attention is creative, what you focus on expands. In your relationships, this awareness becomes transformative. You speak more thoughtfully. You listen more deeply. Appreciation flows more freely. Conflicts resolve more quickly because you are not fueling them with ego. Instead, you sprinkle magic dust, gratitude, understanding, compassion. And people respond to that energy. They soften. They open. They trust. Even in your financial world, people are the bridge between vision and reality. Clients, partners, mentors, customers, all carriers of opportunity. When you approach them with gratitude rather than neediness, you become magnetic in a different way. People feel valued around you. They sense authenticity. And that authenticity attracts collaboration and prosperity. Health, too, is influenced by people. The encouragement of a friend, the expertise of a doctor, the shared motivation of a community. Gratitude for these connections amplifies healing energy. You are not navigating life alone. You are part of a network of invisible support. Tonight, as you hold your magic rock, perhaps the best moment of your day involved someone, a helpful gesture, an inspiring conversation, a shared laugh. Relive it. Feel the warmth of that connection. Say thank you for the magic dust they carried into your life. And if there was a difficult interaction, revisit it with a new lens. Imagine sprinkling gratitude over it. Thank you for teaching me patience. Thank you for revealing my growth edge. Thank you for strengthening my clarity. Feel how that reframing lightens your chest. Because every person is part of your manifestation journey. Some bring comfort. Some bring contrast. All bring lessons. And when you respond with gratitude, you transform every encounter into fuel for expansion. Feel that awareness settle within you now, that life is not random, that people are not accidents, that every interaction carries potential magic. You are moving through a world alive with connection, each conversation a thread in the fabric of your transformation. As sleep gently approaches, you rest in the understanding that the magnet within you is not isolated. It interacts with other magnets, other hearts, other dreams. And when gratitude flows between people, it multiplies. The magic dust lingers in the air, invisible yet powerful, shaping your tomorrow in ways you are only beginning to recognize. The magic dust you began to see in others now lingers in the quiet air before sunrise. And as the world sleeps in soft shadows, you awaken to a truth that feels both simple and revolutionary. The way you begin your morning silently decides the direction of your manifestations, because the first thoughts you choose become the emotional blueprint for everything that follows. There is a fragile, sacred space between sleep and full awareness, a threshold where your mind is open and unguarded. And in that space, before the noise of responsibilities rushes in, you have the power to claim your day. If yesterday was shaped by the energy you carried into conversations, into finances, into health decisions, then today can be shaped deliberately, intentionally, with gratitude as your compass. Before your feet touch the floor, pause. Feel the rhythm of your breathing. Feel the simple miracle of waking up. How many systems in your body work tirelessly through the night to keep you alive? Your heart beat faithfully. Your lungs expanded and contracted. Cells repaired. Energy restored. Whisper a quiet thank you, not out of obligation, but out of awe. Gratitude for life itself creates a foundation stronger than any external success. And from that foundation, let your affirmations rise gently, not as desperate requests, but as confident declarations aligned with the law of attraction. Today, good things flow to me. Today, I am supported. Today, opportunities find me. Speak these words softly in your mind and allow yourself to feel them as already true. The universe does not respond to empty phrases. It responds to emotional conviction. As you sit up and the first light brushes the room, visualize your day unfolding with ease. See meetings flowing smoothly. See money circulating effortlessly. See your body energized, strong, vibrant. See conversations filled with respect and warmth. The images do not need to be detailed. They only need to feel possible. Possibility is the doorway through which manifestation enters. Even the simplest rituals become powerful when infused with awareness. As water touches your skin, feel gratitude for cleanliness, for comfort, for access. As you prepare your breakfast, acknowledge the chain of people and resources that made that nourishment available. Farmers, transporters, store clerks, sunlight, soil, rain, all converging so you may begin your day sustained. The more you notice, the more your heart expands, and something subtle begins to shift. The anxiety that once hovered in the morning, the rush, the pressure, the mental to-do lists, loses its grip. Because gratitude does not coexist easily with fear. Where appreciation grows, negativity finds little room to breathe. You step into your responsibilities not as burdens, but as platforms for expression. When challenges appear, and they will, you are no longer caught off guard. You anticipated growth. You invited expansion. A delayed payment becomes an opportunity to trust abundance. A difficult conversation becomes a chance to practice compassion. A moment of fatigue becomes a reminder to honor your health. Every experience is filtered through the lens you crafted at dawn. This is not about denying reality. It is about directing it. The law of attraction responds to the dominant vibration you hold. By consciously choosing gratitude at the start of your day, you elevate that vibration before external circumstances attempt to define it for you. You become proactive rather than reactive, creator rather than victim. And as days accumulate, these mornings compound. Just as financial investments grow through consistency, emotional investments yield exponential returns. Your relationships deepen because you approach them with patience and appreciation. Your financial decisions improve because you act from confidence rather than scarcity. Your health strengthens because you listen to your body with respect. The morning becomes your anchor. Even if the afternoon grows chaotic, you can return to that initial gratitude, that quiet whisper of thanks that set everything in motion. It is always available, always renewable. Imagine tomorrow's sunrise already waiting for you, holding new possibilities in its light. Feel the anticipation rather than the dread. Feel the empowerment rather than the pressure. You are not at the mercy of your schedule. You are the architect of your internal world. And as tonight eventually arrives again, and you reflect upon the day shaped by your intentional beginning, You will recognize a pattern forming. That magic is not random, not accidental, not reserved for the fortunate few. It is cultivated in the stillness of a grateful morning, where your first breath becomes a promise, and your first thought becomes creation. The promise you began greeting at sunrise now stretches backward through time, because as you awaken with gratitude each morning, you start to realize that you did not arrive at this moment alone. You were carried here, shaped here, lifted here by people whose words, actions, and quiet sacrifices left fingerprints on your soul. Every strength you claim as your own was once encouraged by someone else. A teacher who believed in your potential before you did. A parent who worked tirelessly to provide stability. A friend who listened when you were uncertain. A mentor who challenged you to think bigger. Even the stranger whose small kindness shifted your direction on a difficult day. Their influence may feel distant now, but it pulses beneath your current reality like a hidden current guiding your growth. When you consider the law of attraction, you often focus on what you are drawing toward you. Yet there is equal power in acknowledging what has already been given. Gratitude does not only amplify future manifestations, it deepens the meaning of the past. And when you consciously thank those who shaped your journey, you strengthen the energetic foundation from which your next manifestations will rise. Close your eyes for a moment and allow faces to surface. Some will appear clearly. Others may come as faint impressions. Notice the emotions attached to them. Perhaps warmth. Perhaps nostalgia. Perhaps even unresolved tension. This is where the magic expands. Because even those who challenged you played a role in refining you. The critic who doubted you fueled your determination. The heartbreak that broke you open revealed your resilience. The rejection redirected you towards something better aligned with your purpose. Send gratitude to them all, not necessarily with words spoken aloud, but with sincere acknowledgement in your heart. Thank you for shaping me. Thank you for strengthening me. Thank you for teaching me. Feel how this shifts your energy. Resentment loosens its grip. Appreciation replaces resistance. And in that emotional release, you free yourself from the past while honoring it. You may feel inspired to reach out to someone who made a difference. A message of appreciation, a handwritten note, a simple expression of thanks. These gestures do more than brighten someone else's day. They recalibrate your own vibration. Because when gratitude moves from thought into action, it becomes magnetic. Relationships soften. Connections deepen. Opportunities flow through renewed bonds. Your health, too, has been influenced by magical people. The doctor who offered guidance. The coach who encouraged discipline. The loved one who reminded you to rest. Recognizing their contributions strengthens your commitment to well-being. You are not solely responsible for every improvement. You are supported by a network of wisdom and care. Gratitude for that support invites continued healing. Financial growth also carries the imprint of others. A business partner who trusted your vision. A client who chose your service. An investor who believed in your idea. Money rarely arrives in isolation. It flows through relationships. When you acknowledge those who contributed to your prosperity, you transform financial transactions into meaningful exchanges of value and trust. And trust multiplies abundance. As the day unfolds, notice how differently you move through the world when you carry awareness of these influences. You are less reactive, more grounded. Less isolated, more connected. You begin to see yourself as part of an intricate web of contribution and reception. You have received much, and therefore, you are capable of giving much. This realization sparks another transformation. If others made a difference in your life, then you are constantly making a difference in someone else's. Your words matter. Your encouragement matters. Your presence matters. The gratitude you practice each morning does not stop with you. It ripples outward, shaping conversations, decisions, and moments you may never fully witness. Feel the quiet power in that understanding. You are both the receiver and the giver of magic. You are influenced, and you influence. The cycle continues, expanding beyond what the eye can measure. And as evening settles once more, and you hold your magic rock with a deeper sense of connection, allow gratitude to flow backward and forward simultaneously, honoring those who carried you here and trusting that you are now carrying someone else toward their own awakening. In this exchange of appreciation, the journey feels less like a solitary climb and more like a shared ascent, illuminated by countless unseen hands guiding you gently upward. The shared ascent you began to recognize, carried by unseen hands, strengthened by gratitude flowing backward and forward, now turns your attention towards something even more intimate. The quiet wishes you have held in your heart, the dreams you have whispered to yourself in moments of hope, the visions you have sometimes doubted were possible. Because once you understand that you are supported, that you are connected, that you are both receiver and giver of magic, a new question rises gently within you. What do you truly desire? Not what seems practical, not what feels safe, but what stirs your spirit when you allow yourself to imagine freely. The law of attraction does not respond to vague longing. It responds to clarity infused with emotion. And so this day invites you to dare to articulate your wishes with boldness and precision, not as fantasies drifting in the distance, but as living possibilities already forming in the unseen. Feel how different it is to say, "I hope this happens someday," versus declaring, "I am aligning with this now." The shift is subtle yet profound. One is passive, the other is participatory. When you make a wish from a place of gratitude rather than lack, you remove the tension that pushes desires away. You are not begging the universe, you are collaborating with it. Imagine writing your wishes down, not hurriedly, but ceremoniously. A thriving business, a loving partnership, vibrant health, financial freedom, inner peace. Speak them in the present tense. I am grateful for the prosperity flowing into my life. I am grateful for the strength and vitality in my body. I am grateful for the deep, fulfilling love I experience. Notice how gratitude wraps around each wish, transforming it from distant longing into magnetic expectation. Visualization deepens this process. Close your eyes and step into the scene as if it is unfolding now. See yourself signing the contract. Feel the handshake. Hear the laughter in your home. Sense the lightness in your body as you move with energy and ease. Engage your senses. The subconscious mind does not sharply distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and physical reality. When you feel it fully, you begin to embody it. An embodiment precedes manifestation. Of course, doubt may attempt to surface. A quiet voice questioning worthiness or timing. This is not failure, it is awareness. Thank that voice for trying to protect you. Then gently return to gratitude. Gratitude dissolves resistance. It reminds you that you have already manifested countless outcomes in your life. Opportunities you once desired, relationships you once prayed for, achievements you once thought distant. You are not new to creation, you are refining it. As your wishes become clearer, you may notice inspiration stirring within you. Small actions, intuitive nudges, ideas that feel aligned. Follow them. Manifestation is not idle wishing, it is cooperative movement. When you act from inspired energy rather than fear, doors open in unexpected ways. Conversations align. Resources appear. Timing synchronizes. And as these shifts begin to unfold, pay attention to the evidence. Even the smallest sign, an encouraging email, a new connection, a sudden idea, deserves acknowledgement. Thank you for this step forward. Thank you for this progress. Appreciation magnifies momentum. What you celebrate expands. There is also a deeper truth hidden within your wishes. Often, beneath the desire for money lies a desire for security or freedom. Beneath the longing for love lies a desire for connection and belonging. Beneath the pursuit of health lies a desire for vitality and joy. When you identify the feeling behind the wish and begin cultivating that feeling now, you accelerate alignment. If you seek freedom, Practice gratitude for the freedoms you already possess. If you seek love, embody kindness and openness today. If you seek abundance, appreciate every dollar currently circulating in your life. The magic does not require perfection. It requires sincerity. It requires consistency. It requires the courage to believe that your inner vision is not accidental, but purposeful. Your desires are not random sparks. They are indicators of potential waiting to be realized. As night approaches once more, and you reflect on the wishes you dared to claim, feel the quiet confidence settling within you. You are no longer hoping from a distance. You are participating in creation. Gratitude has become your foundation, visualization your compass, affirmation your voice, and somewhere in the unseen currents of possibility, the universe is already rearranging circumstances to meet the clarity you have chosen to hold. The universe has already begun rearranging itself around the clarity of your wishes, responding not just to what you asked for, but to who you have become in the asking. And as that quiet confidence settles into your chest, today invites you to step fully into the living demonstration of everything you have practiced, not tomorrow, not someday, but here, in the ordinary hours ahead, where magic either goes unnoticed or is consciously claimed. To have a magical day is not to expect perfection. It is to expect meaning. It is to move through your morning knowing that every conversation, every task, every delay carries potential alignment. When you wake, the air feels slightly different, not because the world has changed overnight, but because your awareness has sharpened. You are no longer drifting through hours unconsciously. You are participating. As you move through your routine, you carry the vibration of gratitude like an invisible current beneath your actions. The coffee tastes richer because you pause to appreciate it. The commute feels lighter because you choose music or silence that supports your intention. Even the messages waiting on your phone are no longer interruptions. They are opportunities for connection, expansion, clarity. And when something unexpected happens, a sudden change of plan, a challenging interaction, a financial concern, you do not immediately surrender to frustration. Instead, you lean inward and quietly affirm. This too is part of the magic unfolding. The law of attraction is not selective. It responds to your dominant emotional state. If you maintain gratitude in the face of contrast, you transform obstacles into stepping stones. Notice how your body responds when you hold this perspective. Your shoulders soften. Your breath deepens. Stress loses its sharp edge. Health improves not only through diet or exercise, but through emotional harmony. When you expect your day to support you, your nervous system relaxes, and in that relaxation, clarity and creativity rise naturally. Your financial world begins to mirror this steadiness. Decisions are made from confidence rather than urgency. Opportunities are recognized because you are present enough to see them. A conversation about business flows more smoothly because you approach it with appreciation instead of pressure. Money, like energy, moves more freely when resistance dissolves. Relationships shift in subtle but powerful ways. When you greet someone with genuine warmth, when you listen without rushing, when you acknowledge their value, you alter the atmosphere of the interaction. Gratitude expressed outwardly multiplies. Smiles return more easily. Cooperation increases. Misunderstandings soften. What once felt complicated becomes simpler because your energy has changed first. Throughout the day, small moments begin to glow. A compliment you did not expect. A solution appearing just in time. A burst of inspiration during an ordinary task. These are not coincidences. They are reflections. You asked for alignment. You practiced belief. Now you are noticing the evidence. And the more you notice, the more you reinforce the cycle. To have a magical day also means honoring yourself within it. Taking breaks when needed. Drinking water with awareness. Stepping outside for a breath of fresh air. Appreciating your own effort. Self-gratitude is often overlooked, yet it strengthens personal transformation profoundly. Thank yourself for showing up. Thank yourself for growing. Thank yourself for choosing a new way of thinking. As afternoon turns to evening, reflect on the hours behind you. Not with judgment, but with curiosity. Where did you maintain alignment? Where did you drift? Both are valuable. Each moment offers feedback. And even if part of the day felt heavy, gratitude can still reclaim it. There is always something to appreciate. A lesson learned, resilience demonstrated, support received. When night falls and you hold your magic rock once more, the events of the day no longer feel random. They feel woven together by intention. You recognize that magic is not a dramatic spectacle. It is the quiet accumulation of conscious choices. It is the steady decision to believe in possibility, to respond with gratitude, to visualize success, to affirm worthiness. And as you prepare to rest, there is a gentle smile within you. Not because everything was flawless, but because you experienced your power in motion. You did not wait for magic to appear. You carried it into the day. You breathed it into conversations. You infused it into actions. And somewhere in the unseen spaces between effort and outcome, the universe continues responding, shaping tomorrow in harmony with the energy you chose to hold today. The magic you carried into your day, breathed into conversations, infused into ordinary moments, now turns inward toward the places where your heart may still feel tender. Because even as you learn to expect meaning and alignment, there are relationships that hold unfinished emotions, unspoken words, subtle distances that gratitude alone has illuminated but not yet fully restored. To heal a relationship magically is not to erase the past or pretend pain never existed. It is to transform the energy surrounding it. Every connection carries memory, and memory carries emotion. When those emotions are unresolved, they quietly shape your present reactions. But the law of attraction responds to the emotional charge you hold now, not to what happened then, which means healing begins in this moment. Picture someone with whom tension lingers. Notice what arises in your body: tightness, resistance, hesitation. Instead of pushing it away, acknowledge it. This awareness is power. Then gently introduce gratitude, not forced, not artificial, but intentional. Thank you for the lessons this relationship has brought. Thank you for the growth it required of me. Thank you for the strength I developed because of it. At first, the words may feel fragile. Stay with them. Gratitude does not deny hurt, it reframes it. And in reframing, you loosen the grip of resentment. When resentment dissolves, space opens for compassion. You begin to see the other person not only as the source of discomfort, but as a human being shaped by their own fears, experiences, and limitations. This shift alone can alter the entire dynamic. Affirm quietly, I release the past. I choose peace. I am open to harmony. Feel these statements not as wishes, but as decisions. Because healing is a choice repeated until it becomes a state. You may not control the other person's actions, but you absolutely influence the energetic field between you. And energy precedes behavior. Visualization becomes your ally here. Imagine a conversation unfolding calmly. Imagine understanding replacing defensiveness. Imagine laughter where there was once silence. You are not scripting every detail. You are setting an emotional tone. The subconscious absorbs this tone, and your interactions begin aligning with it naturally. Sometimes healing requires direct communication. If inspired, reach out. Speak honestly but gently. Express appreciation for what worked before addressing what hurt. Gratitude softens the ground before truth is planted. And even if the response is not immediate, you have shifted your own vibration. That shift alone creates movement. There may also be relationships that are no longer physically present, people from your past, or even those who have passed on. Healing can still occur internally. Close your eyes and speak what was left unsaid. Offer forgiveness. Ask for it. Send gratitude for shared memories. Emotional closure does not depend on physical proximity. It depends on willingness. As you practice this, Notice how your health responds. Emotional tension often manifests physically in headaches, fatigue, restlessness. When you release resentment, your body relaxes. Your breath flows more freely. Energy returns. Healing relationships is not only about harmony with others, it is about harmony within yourself. Financial and professional relationships benefit as well. Gratitude toward clients, colleagues, or partners shifts negotiations from adversarial to collaborative. Appreciation fosters trust. Trust fosters opportunity. Even competitive environments soften when respect replaces rivalry. You begin to understand that every relationship is a mirror reflecting aspects of your inner world. When you change internally, the reflection changes. This is the deeper mystery of manifestation. It is less about controlling outcomes and more about refining perception and energy. Throughout the day, practice small acts of relational magic. A sincere compliment. A patient pause before responding. A silent blessing for someone who irritates you. These gestures may seem simple, yet they ripple outward. You are recalibrating your relational field one interaction at a time. As evening settles and you reflect on the connections in your life, feel gratitude not only for the easy bonds, but for the complicated ones. They have shaped your resilience, deepened your empathy, clarified your boundaries. They have participated in your becoming. Holding your magic rock tonight carries a different weight, softer, lighter. The space where tension once lived feels more open. And in that openness, love has room to breathe again. Not dramatic, not forced, but steady and sincere. Because when you choose to heal, when you choose gratitude over grievance, you do more than repair a bond. You free your own heart to expand without fear, ready to experience relationships as they were always meant to be. Sources of connection, growth, and quiet, enduring magic. The space that opened in your heart as you released resentment now begins to echo through your body. Because emotional harmony does not remain confined to thought. It travels through your nervous system, through your cells, through the quiet intelligence that has been sustaining you since your first breath. Healing relationships softens something within you, and in that softness lies an even deeper invitation to witness the magic already operating inside your physical form. Your body is not merely a structure of bones and tissue. It is a living symphony of processes unfolding without your conscious command. Your heart beats faithfully. Your lungs expand and contract. Your immune system scans and protects. Wounds close. Energy regenerates. All of this happens while you sleep, while you work, while you dream. If that is not a miracle, what is? And yet familiarity has made it invisible. Gratitude brings it back into view. Place your attention gently on your body now. Not with criticism, not with comparison, but with appreciation. Thank you, heart, for your rhythm. Thank you, lungs, for every breath. Thank you, legs, for carrying me. Thank you, mind, for processing, learning, adapting. Even if there is discomfort, even if there is diagnosis, even if there is uncertainty, begin with gratitude for what is functioning. Because what you focus on expands, and the law of attraction responds to the emotional tone you emit toward your own health. If you have been frustrated with your body, notice how that frustration feels. Tight, heavy, resistant. Now imagine replacing it with compassion. I am grateful for my body's effort. I am grateful for its attempt to heal. I am grateful for every small improvement. This shift is not denial of symptoms. It is alignment with possibility. Visualization becomes powerful here. See light moving through your body, restoring balance. See cells regenerating with strength. See yourself waking with energy, moving with ease, smiling without strain. Feel the relief as if it is happening now. The subconscious mind absorbs these images, and your physiology responds subtly to belief. Research has shown that expectation influences outcomes. The body listens to the mind's narrative. Affirm gently but confidently, my body knows how to heal. I support it with love and gratitude. I trust its wisdom. These words, repeated consistently, rewire internal dialogue. And internal dialogue influences hormonal balance, stress levels, immune response. The connection between emotion and physiology is profound. When gratitude lowers stress, the body shifts from survival mode into repair mode. Health is also shaped by action inspired by appreciation. When you value your body, you nourish it differently. You rest without guilt. You hydrate with awareness. You move not as punishment, but as celebration. Exercise becomes gratitude in motion. Food becomes fuel chosen with respect. Sleep becomes sacred restoration. And miracles sometimes appear not as dramatic recoveries, but as subtle improvements. A little more stamina, a calmer mind, clearer test results, supportive guidance from the right professional at the right time. Gratitude heightens your awareness of these shifts. You begin noticing progress that fear once obscured. Even if you are walking through serious health challenges, gratitude can coexist with treatment. Thank the doctors for their expertise. Thank the medicine for its assistance. Thank your support system for their presence. You are not alone in healing. And when fear rises, as it sometimes will, return to the breath. Inhale appreciation. Exhale tension. The body mirrors belief. When you consistently see yourself as fragile, it reinforces caution. When you see yourself as resilient, it reinforces strength. This does not mean ignoring reality. It means partnering with it. You are not fighting your body. You are collaborating with it. As the day unfolds, notice how you inhabit your physical form differently. Stand taller. Walk with awareness. Feel gratitude for the simple ability to move, to speak, to see. Each sensation becomes sacred. Each breath becomes evidence of ongoing miracles. And when evening arrives and you hold your magic rock once more, let your final thoughts rest on appreciation for the body that carried you through another day. Thank it for its endurance. Thank it for its effort. Thank it for its quiet miracles. In that gratitude, something inside you softens further. A trust forming, gentle but steady. That healing is not distant or dramatic, but unfolding continuously, cell by cell, breath by breath, guided by the love and belief you are now learning to give yourself. The trust that began forming within your body, cell by cell, breath by breath, now expands outward into the realm where so many fears quietly reside. Money, security, financial freedom, and the belief in what is truly possible for you. Because just as your body responds to love and expectation, your financial life responds to the images and emotions you consistently hold about it. For many, money has carried tension, worry, scarcity, old stories inherited from childhood or shaped by past setbacks. Yet the law of attraction does not judge those stories, it simply mirrors them. If fear dominates your financial narrative, fear echoes back. If gratitude and expectation replace it, abundance begins finding pathways toward you. Today invites you into a symbolic act that feels simple, almost playful, yet profoundly transformative. Imagine writing yourself a check, not from desperation, not from fantasy, but from certainty. See your name written clearly. See an amount that represents expansion, relief, opportunity. It does not matter whether the number feels modest or extraordinary. What matters is that it stretches your belief just enough to awaken possibility. Hold that image in your mind. See the signature of the universe upon it. Feel the paper in your hands. Feel what it would mean to deposit it. What would shift in your life? What pressure would dissolve? What doors would open? Let yourself experience the emotion fully, not the frantic excitement of escape, but the steady confidence of provision. Gratitude must wrap around this vision. Thank you for this abundance already on its way. Thank you for the opportunities aligning. Thank you for the skills and ideas that generate wealth. Gratitude shifts you from wishing to receiving. It tells the subconscious that you expect fulfillment, not struggle. Money is energy circulating through exchange, contribution, value. When you see it as scarce, you constrict its flow. When you see it as abundant and responsive, you participate in its movement. The magic check is not about instant riches. It is about recalibrating your relationship with wealth. It invites you to see yourself as worthy of prosperity. Notice any resistance that arises. A voice whispering, "This is unrealistic." Instead of silencing it harshly, thank it for trying to protect you. Then gently expand your perspective. Many people once believed their current income was impossible. Many opportunities exist that you have not yet seen. The universe contains more pathways than your present awareness can measure. As you move through the day, let your behavior align with the belief you are cultivating. Make decisions from confidence rather than fear. Invest in growth where it feels aligned. Express appreciation for every dollar that enters your life, no matter how small. Pay bills with gratitude for the services received. Money handled with appreciation tends to return more readily. And remember, financial abundance is not separate from your other manifestations. It supports health, relationships, freedom of time, contribution to others. When you expand financially, you expand your capacity to give, to create, to uplift. Wealth becomes an amplifier of intention. Visualization strengthens this process. See yourself months from now, looking back at this moment with gratitude because the check you imagined has been matched by reality in unexpected ways. Perhaps not in the exact form you predicted, but through aligned opportunities, partnerships, ideas that blossomed into income. Feel the satisfaction of knowing you shifted internally first. Throughout the afternoon, small signs may appear: an idea for a project, a conversation about collaboration, an insight into budgeting or investing more wisely. These are seeds. Do not dismiss them. Action taken from belief turns imagination into tangible results. As evening approaches and you reflect once again, place your attention on appreciation for what you already possess. Shelter, resources, skills, experience, even challenges that sharpen your resilience. The more you acknowledge current abundance, the safer your subconscious feels expanding further. Hold your magic rock and imagine placing that symbolic check beside it, both representing trust. Trust in your body's healing, trust in your relationship's growth, trust in your financial expansion. Feel the steady assurance that abundance is not distant or reserved for others. It is responsive, it is dynamic, and it is already moving toward you in ways you are beginning to believe are not only possible, but inevitable. The sense of financial possibility you began to feel yesterday does not fade into abstraction. Instead, it seeks movement, direction, and expression through your daily actions, because manifestation is never separate from participation, and the same universe that responds to your gratitude also responds to your willingness to step forward with intention. What once felt like overwhelming responsibility can now be seen through a different lens, not as pressure, but as potential waiting to be organized by awareness. There are always tasks hovering at the edge of your mind. Calls to return, emails to send, ideas to explore, health appointments to schedule, conversations to initiate, goals you promised yourself you would begin someday. And often those unfinished actions carry subtle weight, quietly draining your energy, not because they are impossible, but because they remain undefined. That lingering heaviness is not laziness, it is unchanneled intention. Today invites you to gather those scattered fragments and place them onto paper, forming what becomes your magical to-do list. Not a list written in stress or urgency, but one created in partnership with the law of attraction. As you write each task, pause and feel gratitude as though it is already successfully completed. If you write, "Call the bank," feel relief and appreciation for a smooth, supportive conversation. If you write, "Exercise," feel gratitude for a strong, responsive body. If you write, "Discuss finances with my partner," feel harmony and clarity flowing through that exchange. Notice what happens inside you when gratitude accompanies responsibility. The energy shifts from resistance to cooperation. Tasks stop feeling like burdens and begin feeling like bridges. Bridges between your present reality and the expanded life you are consciously creating. This is where manifestation becomes deeply practical. The universe may orchestrate opportunities, but you must answer the phone. It may inspire ideas, but you must write them down. It may align resources, but you must take the step that meets them halfway. Gratitude transforms action from effort into alignment. As the day unfolds, choose a few items from your list and approach them with calm focus. Before beginning each one, whisper thank you for its successful outcome. Let that simple affirmation steady your thoughts. You are not forcing results. You are cooperating with a field of possibility that responds to your emotional frequency. Even small accomplishments carry powerful momentum. When you complete a task, pause and acknowledge it. Feel the satisfaction settle into your body. This recognition reinforces a new identity, someone who follows through, someone who handles responsibilities with grace, someone who trusts that every completed action strengthens the foundation of their manifestations. Health goals become less intimidating when gratitude precedes movement. Financial tasks feel less threatening when appreciation replaces fear. Relationship conversations soften when you anticipate understanding instead of conflict. Every check mark on your list becomes evidence that you are not waiting for change. You are participating in it. And if a task feels particularly heavy, instead of avoiding it, write beside it a simple phrase. Thank you for resolving this perfectly. Those words shift your subconscious expectation. They quiet the catastrophic stories the mind sometimes invents. They create space for solutions you may not yet see. As evening approaches, review what you have completed, not with criticism for what remains, but with appreciation for what moved forward. The law of attraction magnifies what you focus upon. If you focus on unfinished items, you amplify lack. If you focus on progress, you amplify capability and flow. This practice gradually rewires your relationship with productivity. Life stops feeling like an endless series of demands and begins to feel like a canvas of chosen intentions. You are not reacting to circumstances. You are shaping them through aligned thought and deliberate action. The magical to-do list is not about doing more. It is about doing with awareness. It is about infusing ordinary responsibilities with spiritual partnership. In that partnership, stress dissolves into structure, procrastination softens into momentum, and scattered energy gathers into direction. And as you place your list aside tonight, perhaps beside your magic rock, feel the quiet satisfaction of someone who is no longer overwhelmed by possibility, but empowered by it. The same gratitude that attracted financial expansion now energizes your daily actions. The same belief that supported healing now strengthens discipline. You fall asleep knowing that tomorrow's opportunities are already aligning with the tasks you are willing to meet. And that step by steady step, intention by intention, your outer world continues shaping itself around the grateful, focused energy you choose to embody. The quiet satisfaction you felt as you set your list aside last night was not simply about tasks completed. It was about momentum rediscovered, about the subtle realization that your life moves in the direction of the energy you choose to walk in. And now that movement becomes literal, because every intention you've been nurturing is ready to be carried forward by your own 2 feet. There is something profoundly symbolic about walking. It is the simplest form of progress, one step, then another, steady and rhythmic, a physical affirmation that you are not stuck, that you are not waiting, that you are advancing. Today invites you to feel gratitude with every step you take. Not abstract gratitude, but embodied appreciation for the ground beneath you, for the muscles and joints that coordinate effortlessly, for the invisible balance systems within your body that keep you upright without conscious effort. Each footfall becomes a reminder that your health, however imperfect it may seem at times, is supporting you constantly. Even if healing is still unfolding, There are thousands of processes within you functioning faithfully. With each step, silently say thank you. As you walk, whether it is across a room, down a street, through an office corridor, or along a quiet path, let your mind travel further than your body. Imagine that these footsteps are carrying you toward your desires, toward financial freedom, toward harmonious relationships, toward vibrant health, toward the version of yourself who lives with calm confidence. The law of attraction responds not only to what you think when you sit still, but to what you feel while you move. When movement is infused with gratitude, it becomes magnetic. Notice how often you walk without awareness. From bed to bathroom, from car to workplace, from kitchen to living room. These ordinary transitions are usually filled with distracted thoughts or worries about what comes next. Today, those same transitions become sacred. Each step is an affirmation. I am supported. I am progressing. I am guided. The repetition of motion reinforces belief at a subconscious level. You are teaching your body and mind that forward movement is natural for you. If challenges arise during the day, an unexpected expense, a tense conversation, a delay in plans, allow yourself to physically walk through the emotion rather than freezing inside it. Take a few conscious steps and attach gratitude to them. Thank you for the solution forming. Thank you for the lesson strengthening me. Thank you for the resilience within me. Walking shifts energy. It interrupts spirals of negativity. It reminds you that nothing is static unless you decide it is. There is also power in imagining that every step you take leaves behind invisible imprints of appreciation, like soft golden footprints marking your path, each one a declaration that you choose gratitude over complaint, possibility over doubt. And just as you leave these energetic imprints behind you, the path ahead begins to respond. Opportunities feel closer. Synchronicities feel more frequent. Conversations align at the right moment. Think of entrepreneurs who built success not in a single leap, but in consistent daily actions. Think of relationships strengthened not by grand gestures alone, but by small, repeated steps of kindness. Think of health restored through simple habits practiced persistently. Magic rarely arrives as a dramatic explosion. More often it unfolds through steady footsteps taken in belief. As evening approaches and your body begins to slow, reflect on the miles you have traveled not only physically, but emotionally since you began this journey. The doubt that once felt heavy has been replaced with intention. The fear that once paused you now loosens its grip as you keep moving. Gratitude has become less of an exercise and more of a rhythm, like walking itself. Before sleep, perhaps stand for a quiet moment and feel your feet grounded firmly beneath you. Sense the stability. Sense the quiet promise of tomorrow's steps already waiting. You are not chasing your dreams. You are walking toward them with calm certainty. And with every grateful step, the distance between where you are and where you desire to be gently, steadily, beautifully narrows. The footsteps you have been taking, one grateful step at a time, have already shifted the ground beneath your life. And as you feel the quiet power of those steps echoing through your days, you begin to sense that all the magic you have practiced, every thank you whispered for money, every blessing counted for health, every silent appreciation offered for the people around you, has been leading you somewhere deeper, somewhere softer, somewhere infinitely more powerful, because beneath manifestation and affirmations, beneath visualization and the disciplined practice of gratitude, there is a source that animates it all, and that source is your heart. Not merely the physical organ beating in your chest, but the energetic center of your being, the place where love, appreciation, faith, and intention merge into a magnetic force strong enough to reshape your reality. You may have noticed that when you say an affirmation without feeling, it sounds hollow, like words floating in empty air, but when you speak the same affirmation with emotion, when you allow gratitude to swell in your chest as you declare abundance, radiant health, thriving relationships, financial freedom, the words become alive, and that aliveness is heart magic. It is the moment your thoughts and feelings unite, the instant your inner world aligns, and in that alignment, the law of attraction responds not to your vocabulary, but to your vibration. Think of the times you felt genuine appreciation for your body, even if it was healing, even if it was imperfect, and how that appreciation softened your stress, relaxed your breath, and created space for restoration. The heart, when filled with gratitude, signals safety and possibility to your entire system. And in that state, your health begins to reorganize itself around wellness rather than fear. Because the body listens to the language of the heart more fluently than it listens to the language of worry. And just as your body responds, so too does your financial world. Because money, often burdened with anxiety and doubt, transforms when you approach it with appreciation instead of desperation. When you hold a bill in your hand and feel grateful for the service it represents, when you give thanks for every dollar that circulates through your life, you dissolve resistance, and your heart sends a message of trust into the invisible currents of exchange, turning you into a magnet not by force, but by harmony. The same current flows through your relationships, for every interaction is subtly shaped by the emotional frequency you carry. When your heart is guarded, you attract distance, but when your heart is open, when you silently bless the people in front of you, when you choose to appreciate even small gestures, when you focus on what is working rather than what is lacking, you create an atmosphere where connection can breathe, and misunderstandings begin to soften, and forgiveness becomes possible, and love finds room to expand. This is why daily gratitude is not a ritual of politeness, but a spiritual technology, a practice that trains your heart to remain open even in ordinary moments. When you wake and place your attention on what you appreciate before the noise of the world rushes in, you are tuning your inner instrument, and throughout the day that tuning determines the quality of every experience, because events themselves are neutral, yet your heart interprets them, colors them, and ultimately attracts more of the emotional tone you sustain. There will still be moments when negativity tries to return, when doubt whispers that this is too simple to be powerful. But now you understand that the heart is not naive. It is courageous, and choosing gratitude in the face of uncertainty is an act of strength, not denial. And every time you redirect your focus toward appreciation, you are strengthening a new neural and spiritual pathway, making it easier for joy, opportunity, and inspired ideas to reach you. Visualization becomes richer when infused with heart, because instead of merely seeing your desired future, you feel it as if it is already unfolding. You feel the relief of financial security, the vitality of a healthy body, the warmth of harmonious relationships, the pride of personal growth, and those feelings send a coherent signal outward, like a beacon, aligning circumstances, people, and insights in ways that may appear miraculous, but are simply the natural response of a responsive universe to a coherent heart. And as you continue this journey, you realize that personal transformation is not about becoming someone else, but about removing the barriers that prevented your heart from leading. The more you practice gratitude, the more you affirm with emotion, the more you visualize with belief, the more you notice that confidence replaces fear, generosity replaces scarcity, compassion replaces resentment, and you are no longer chasing magic, you are embodying it. So tonight, as your day settles and your breath slows, place your attention gently on your heart, feel its steady rhythm, and offer gratitude not only for the things you have received, but for the unseen orchestration already in motion. Because the greatest manifestations often begin quietly, forming beneath the surface long before they are visible, and in that quiet awareness you sense a profound truth. The magic you have been seeking in health, in money, in love, in success, has always been generated from within you, pulsing faithfully, waiting for your recognition. And as you rest in that realization, there is a softness, a certainty, a calm knowing that your heart is guiding you forward, and that is more than enough. The calm certainty you felt resting in your heart now begins to reveal its evidence in the outer world. Because when gratitude has been practiced not as a temporary exercise, but as a way of being, when affirmations have been spoken with emotion, when visualization has been felt as real rather than imagined, something shifts beyond the invisible and starts to crystallize into tangible outcomes. And this is where magnificent results quietly emerge, not as sudden lightning bolts from the sky, but as steady, undeniable proof that your inner transformation has been rearranging circumstances all along. You may first notice it in subtle ways. Perhaps an unexpected opportunity arrives at exactly the right moment, or a financial solution appears where there once seemed to be a wall, or your body responds to care and appreciation with renewed vitality, or a strained relationship softens with a conversation that feels almost guided. And while the logical mind may attempt to label these changes as coincidence, your deeper awareness recognizes the pattern because you have been deliberately directing your focus, choosing gratitude over complaint, appreciation over criticism, trust over fear, and the law of attraction has been faithfully responding to the frequency you now sustain. Magnificent results are born from consistency, from the daily discipline of waking up and acknowledging what is already working, from training your mind to search for blessings instead of flaws. And this practice has recalibrated your perception so profoundly that you no longer see life as something happening to you, but as something unfolding with you. You begin to expect good outcomes, and that expectation itself becomes magnetic, shaping the way you speak, the way you walk into rooms, the way you negotiate, the way you care for your health, and even the way you handle challenges, because you are no longer reacting from scarcity, but responding from abundance. In your financial life, magnificent results may look like increased income, new clients, creative ideas that translate into profit, or simply a newfound peace around money that allows it to circulate more freely. The gratitude you have offered for every dollar, every payment, every service received has dissolved resistance, and in its place stands confidence. And confidence is persuasive. It attracts partnerships, inspires trust, and opens doors that once seemed sealed. Within your relationships, the results may appear as deeper intimacy, improved communication, or the quiet disappearance of tension that once felt immovable, because when you began blessing others silently, appreciating their strengths, and focusing on what you loved rather than what you wished to change, you altered the emotional environment. And people instinctively respond to appreciation by expanding into their better selves. The miracle is not that they changed, but that your perception invited their best qualities forward. Your health, too, reflects magnificent results when you consistently speak to your body with kindness, when you visualize vitality flowing through you, when you give thanks for organs that function, for breath that sustains, for energy that carries you through your day, because gratitude reduces stress, and reduced stress allows the body's natural intelligence to repair and restore. And while healing may unfold gradually, each improvement reinforces your belief, strengthening the cycle of positive expectation and physical renewal. What makes these results truly magnificent is not merely their scale, but their sustainability, because they are rooted in a transformed identity. You are no longer practicing gratitude as a technique to get something. You are living as a grateful person, and from that identity flows clarity, resilience, creativity, and courage, qualities that naturally lead to ongoing success and fulfillment. Manifestation becomes less about chasing desires and more about aligning with who you have become, and as you align, your desires refine themselves, becoming clearer, more purposeful, more connected to contribution and meaning. There may still be moments when external conditions test your resolve, yet even those moments now serve as reminders of your power, because instead of collapsing into negativity, You return to gratitude more quickly. You adjust your focus. You reaffirm your intentions, and you visualize outcomes infused with heartfelt emotion. And each time you do, you strengthen the bridge between thought and reality, proving to yourself that magnificent results are not accidents, but reflections. Standing here, aware of the evidence unfolding around you, you feel a quiet pride, not arrogant but grounded, a recognition that you have participated in your own transformation, that through daily practice, spiritual awareness, and emotional discipline, you have become both the artist and the canvas of your life. And as you breathe into that realization, you sense that this is not the peak of what is possible, but the beginning of a new standard, a life where gratitude is your default response, where manifestation is a natural extension of your belief, where health, money, relationships, and personal growth continue to expand in harmony. And in that steady awareness, magnificent results no longer surprise you. They simply confirm what your heart has known all along. The quiet pride you felt as magnificent results began confirming your inner work now sharpens into something even more astonishing, because what once appeared as subtle improvements begins to unfold with a clarity so undeniable that it feels as though life itself is rearranging before your very eyes, revealing that the invisible currents you have been nurturing through gratitude, affirmation, and heartfelt visualization are no longer hidden beneath the surface, but are stepping forward into visible, measurable, tangible reality. There is a moment in every transformation when belief shifts from hope into knowing, and that moment arrives when you witness direct evidence, when the opportunity you visualized materializes, when the relationship you prayed over softens into harmony, when the financial flow you affirmed begins to circulate with surprising ease, when your body responds to appreciation with strength and vitality. And as these changes appear, you realize they are not random blessings, but reflections, mirrors of the frequency you have been sustaining within your heart. What makes this stage powerful is not just the manifestation itself, but your awareness of it. Before, you might have overlooked these shifts, dismissed them as coincidence, or minimized their significance. But now your perception has evolved, trained by daily gratitude to notice the extraordinary woven into the ordinary. And because you are looking for magic, you find it. Because your attention is no longer fixated on lack or delay, but attuned to progress, alignment, and growth. This heightened awareness accelerates the law of attraction, for what you acknowledge expands. And when you pause to genuinely appreciate the evidence unfolding before you, when you whisper thank you for the new client, for the unexpected refund, for the peaceful conversation, for the surge of energy, for the inspired idea, you amplify the very outcomes you desire, sending a powerful signal that says more of this. And the universe, responsive and precise, answers in kind. You begin to see that manifestation is not about forcing reality to obey your will, but about aligning yourself so completely with gratitude and belief that reality has no choice but to echo your inner state. Your affirmations are no longer attempts to convince yourself of something absent. They are celebrations of something forming. And this subtle shift transforms your energy from striving to receiving, from chasing to allowing. Even challenges now appear differently before your eyes, because instead of perceiving them as obstacles, you see them as transitional movements, necessary adjustments guiding you toward a more refined outcome. When a delay occurs, you respond with trust rather than panic, grateful that unseen orchestration may be arranging something better, and this calm expectation prevents you from collapsing into old patterns of doubt, maintaining the magnetic coherence that keeps your manifestations on course. In your health, you may notice improvements that once seemed impossible: better sleep, clearer thinking, renewed stamina. And rather than attributing them solely to external factors, you recognize the impact of consistent appreciation, of speaking kindly to your body, of visualizing wellness as a present reality. The body, responding to the emotional climate you create, organizes itself around balance. And witnessing this strengthens your faith in the intimate connection between thought, feeling, and physical form. Financially, doors that seemed locked begin to open with surprising fluidity. Conversations lead to collaborations, ideas generate income, and resources appear at the precise moment they are needed. And as you observe this unfolding, you understand that your gratitude for money, even when it was scarce, removed resistance, allowing abundance to circulate without friction. Seeing this evidence dissolves any lingering skepticism, replacing it with empowered responsibility for your continued alignment. Relationships, too, transform before your eyes, as appreciation replaces criticism and understanding replaces assumption. The very people who once triggered frustration may now reveal qualities you had overlooked, and by choosing to focus on their strengths, you invite those strengths to flourish, witnessing firsthand how perception shapes interaction and how gratitude acts as a catalyst for connection. Standing in this awareness, you feel both humbled and empowered, humbled by the elegance of a universe that responds so faithfully, empowered by the realization that your inner state truly matters. What unfolds before your eyes is not magic in the sense of illusion, but magic in the sense of alignment, the natural outcome of a heart trained in gratitude, a mind disciplined in affirmation, and a spirit committed to growth. And as you continue walking this path, observing with appreciation each new development, you sense a profound continuity between your thoughts and your experiences, a seamless conversation between your inner world and your outer reality. And in that ongoing dialogue, you find yourself watching your life transform, not someday, not in theory, but here and now, steadily, beautifully, before your very eyes. Watching your life transform before your very eyes naturally heightens your awareness of something even more immediate, something so constant and so quietly miraculous that it has been there through every affirmation, every visualization, every grateful whisper. The breath moving in and out of you, the invisible current sustaining your body moment by moment. And as your perception sharpens from witnessing outer manifestations, it now turns inward to recognize that the very air you breathe is one of the greatest expressions of magic you have ever received. Without effort, without negotiation, without earning it, the air arrives, filling your lungs, expanding your chest, oxygenating your blood, sustaining your brain, powering your heart. And when you pause long enough to truly feel this exchange, you realize that abundance has been present since your first breath, freely given, continuously supplied, asking nothing in return except your awareness. And this realization shifts something profound inside you, because it dissolves the illusion of scarcity at its most fundamental level. If life itself is sustained by such effortless provision, then perhaps the same universal intelligence that circulates air through your lungs also circulates opportunities through your path, resources through your finances, healing through your body, and love through your relationships. The breath becomes more than biology. It becomes a living affirmation that you are supported, that you are connected, that you are part of an ecosystem of giving and receiving far greater than the limited stories you once believed. As you inhale consciously, gratitude begins to deepen beyond material manifestations and into spiritual intimacy. You feel the coolness entering your nostrils, the subtle rise of your ribcage, the gentle expansion of your abdomen. And in that awareness, you sense that each breath is a reminder that life is happening with you, not against you, and that the same force animating your body is responsive to your thoughts and emotions, responding to appreciation with expansion, to love with more too. Love. The law of attraction feels less abstract when you consider that your breath mirrors its rhythm. Inhale to receive, exhale to release. You draw in what nourishes you, ideas, opportunities, inspiration, and you let go of what constricts you, fear, resentment, doubt. And just as holding your breath creates tension, clinging to negativity restricts the flow of manifestation. The practice of gratitude, then, becomes a kind of spiritual breathing, an intentional inhalation of what is good and exhalation of complaint. Health transforms when you honor this magical air, when you breathe slowly and consciously, signaling safety to your nervous system, reducing stress hormones, allowing your body's innate intelligence to restore balance. In moments of anxiety about money, relationships, or the future, returning to your breath anchors you in the present, reminding you that right now, in this exact moment, you are supported, sustained, alive, and that presence is power. Financial concerns soften when you breathe through them instead of reacting impulsively, because conscious breathing creates clarity, and clarity invites wiser decisions, inspired ideas, creative solutions. The breath steadies your emotions so that your affirmations arise from calm conviction rather than desperation, aligning your energy with trust instead of urgency. In relationships, a single mindful breath before responding can transform conflict into understanding, can shift defensiveness into compassion, can open space for listening instead of reacting. The air that moves through you is the same air moving through everyone around you, a shared element connecting all lives, dissolving the illusion of separation. And when you feel that connection, gratitude for others becomes effortless. With each conscious inhale, you may begin silently affirming, "Thank you for this life. Thank you for this body. Thank you for this moment." And with each exhale, you release tension, forgive old narratives, and make room for new possibilities. Visualization becomes richer when synchronized with breath, because as you inhale, you imagine drawing your desired reality closer, and as you exhale, you feel it settling into place, natural and deserved. The magical air you breathe is constant proof that unseen forces are always at work on your behalf, sustaining, circulating, balancing. And when you truly absorb this truth, manifestation no longer feels like a struggle to obtain something external, but a harmonious dance with a universe that has been giving to you since the beginning. Sitting quietly now, aware of the rhythm within your chest, you recognize that every breath is a gift, every inhale an invitation, every exhale a surrender, and in this simple yet profound awareness, you feel deeply grounded, quietly empowered, and intimately connected to the endless flow of magic moving through you and around you, as natural and steady as the air that continues to fill your lungs. The steady rhythm of your breath, the invisible exchange sustaining your life moment by moment, now reveals something even more empowering. Because once you recognize that magic is not distant or dramatic, but constant and intimate, you begin to understand that you have been holding a magic wand all along, not carved from wood or sparkling with light, but formed from your words, your focus, your gratitude-infused intention. And every time you consciously direct your thoughts with feeling, you are lifting that wand and shaping the direction of your reality. It may not look mystical from the outside, yet the evidence has been building through every day of this journey. When you expressed appreciation for money, opportunities expanded. When you blessed your body, vitality improved. When you focused on the best in others, relationships softened. When you visualized success with genuine emotion, circumstances aligned. And what ties all of these outcomes together is the simple yet profound act of directing your attention deliberately, because attention, charged with gratitude, becomes creative power. The magic wand is your ability to choose your response, especially in moments when old habits tempt you toward complaint or fear. Imagine standing in a situation that once would have triggered frustration, and instead of reacting automatically, you pause, breathe in the magical air that sustains you, and consciously decide to find something to appreciate within that very moment. And in doing so, you redirect the energy of the experience, shifting its trajectory, altering its ripple effect, transforming what could have escalated into negativity into an opportunity for growth. This is not denial of difficulty, but mastery of perception. The wand does not erase challenges, it reframes them, asking, what is the lesson here? What strength is being developed? What hidden advantage might reveal itself? And by asking such questions, you activate the law of attraction at a higher level. Because instead of broadcasting resistance, you are transmitting curiosity and trust, emotions that invite creative solutions rather than reinforcing obstacles. In your financial world, the wand appears when you choose gratitude over anxiety while reviewing your accounts, when you bless the bills for the services they represent, when you speak affirmations of abundance with conviction rather than desperation. This conscious redirection calms your nervous system, sharpens your thinking, and opens your awareness to possibilities you may have overlooked before, turning problems into platforms for innovation. Within your health, the wand is lifted when you speak kindly to your body, when you visualize healing light moving through areas of discomfort, when you thank your organs for their tireless service, even as they recover. The body responds not only to medicine and movement, but to emotion and belief. And when those elements align in appreciation, the environment within you becomes more conducive to balance and restoration. Relationships transform under the influence of this wand as well, because a single appreciative comment can dissolve tension, a silent blessing can soften resentment, a decision to listen rather than defend can redirect an entire conversation. You realize that you are not powerless within your interactions, that your internal state influences the emotional climate around you, and that by choosing gratitude, empathy, and respect, you subtly invite those same qualities to return. The more consciously you use this wand, the more natural it becomes, until gratitude is no longer something you remember to practice, but something you instinctively reach for, like a trusted tool. Affirmations feel less like rehearsed statements and more like declarations of identity. Visualizations feel less like imagination and more like previews of unfolding reality. And manifestation becomes less about wishing and more about aligning with who you are choosing to be. There is a quiet confidence that grows from this realization, a sense that you are no longer at the mercy of circumstance, but an active participant in shaping your experience. Not controlling every detail, but influencing the tone, the direction, the energy, and this influence, grounded in gratitude, becomes your true magic wand. Subtle yet powerful, ordinary yet extraordinary. As you stand in this awareness, breathing steadily, feeling the gentle current of life moving through you, you understand that the wand has never left your hand. It has been present in every thought you chose, every thank you you whispered, every vision you nurtured, and now, holding it consciously, you feel neither pressure nor urgency, only possibility. Because with each grateful thought you cast, you are quietly, consistently touching your world with magic, holding that invisible wand more consciously in your hand, feeling the quiet confidence that your thoughts and gratitude-infused focus truly shape your experience. You begin to notice something subtle yet transformative. Magic responds to attention the way music responds to a conductor, and when you deliberately signal it, when you intentionally cue it, you invite life to step forward on your behalf. Because just as a stage remains dim until the spotlight is directed, your world brightens in the areas where your appreciation lingers. To cue the magic is to become intentional about what you are amplifying. It is to wake in the morning and decide, before the noise of obligation and expectation rushes in, that today you will look for evidence of support, evidence of opportunity, evidence of kindness, evidence of abundance, and that decision alone shifts your perception from passive observer to active creator. Because whatever you consistently look for, you begin to find, and whatever you find, you strengthen with your gratitude. Imagine stepping into your day as though you are pressing an invisible button that says more good, please, And each time you encounter something positive, a helpful email, a smooth commute, a moment of laughter, a productive idea, you pause internally and acknowledge it, even briefly, with a genuine thank you. This acknowledgement acts as a cue, telling the law of attraction that this frequency, this experience, this emotional tone is welcome, and like an echo responding to sound, life begins to repeat it. In your finances, cueing the magic may be as simple as celebrating every inflow, no matter how small, appreciating discounts, opportunities, skills that generate income, or even lessons learned from past mistakes. Instead of focusing on what is missing, you deliberately shine your awareness on what is present and growing, and this shift softens resistance, encouraging creative ideas and unexpected openings to emerge, because your mind, now primed to notice opportunity, begins to collaborate with the universe rather than doubt it. When it comes to health, you cue the magic by noticing improvements rather than obsessing over discomfort, by appreciating your body's resilience, by thanking it for movement, digestion, sleep, and recovery. Even on challenging days, finding one aspect to bless signals to your nervous system that safety and possibility still exist. And this emotional environment supports healing more powerfully than constant criticism ever could. In relationships, cueing the magic means highlighting what you value in others, verbally or silently, recognizing efforts, strengths, and shared memories. A simple expression of appreciation can alter the dynamic of an entire interaction because people tend to grow toward the image reflected back to them. And when you reflect respect and gratitude, you invite connection to deepen. This practice is not about pretending everything is perfect, but about consciously directing the spotlight of your attention. Every time negativity tempts you to dwell, you gently redirect, asking yourself, what can I appreciate here? What is working? What lesson is strengthening me? And that redirection becomes a cue, a signal that you are committed to expansion rather than contraction. The more consistently you cue the magic, the more responsive life appears, as though reality itself is attentive to your focus. Opportunities align with your expectations. Synchronicities feel less accidental and more like confirmations, and your affirmations gain power because they are reinforced by evidence you are actively collecting throughout the day. Visualization becomes more vivid when preceded by appreciation, because gratitude raises your emotional frequency, making the imagined future feel attainable rather than distant. As you picture your goals unfolding, you feel the gratitude in advance, effectively cueing the experience before it arrives. And this emotional rehearsal primes both your subconscious mind and your external environment to align with that vision. Over time, you realize that cueing the magic is less about extraordinary rituals and more about disciplined awareness, about choosing to participate in your life with intention rather than drifting through it unconsciously. It is the art of noticing, appreciating, and reinforcing what you desire to see multiplied. Standing at this point in your journey, breathing steadily, wand in hand, heart open, you sense a rhythm to it all, like a dialogue between your gratitude and the unfolding world. And as you continue to cue the magic through your attention, your words, your feelings, you feel an expanding trust that life is listening, that it responds to your signals, and that with each appreciative cue you offer, the stage lights brighten just a little more, revealing a reality increasingly shaped by the magic you choose to call forward. The stage lights you have been brightening with every grateful cue do not dim when something goes wrong. In fact, it is in the unexpected misstep, the awkward conversation, the financial oversight, the health setback, or the missed opportunity that your practice of magic is tested and refined. Because once you understand that life responds to your attention, you begin to see that even mistakes are waiting for direction, waiting for you to decide whether they will harden into regret or soften into wisdom. And this choice is where true transformation unfolds. There was a time when a mistake might have spiraled into self-criticism, when you would replay it repeatedly in your mind, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy or fear, unknowingly broadcasting those emotions into your future experiences. Yet now, equipped with gratitude as your compass and awareness as your wand, you pause in the aftermath of imperfection and breathe, recognizing that the same universal intelligence guiding your manifestations can also repurpose your errors into stepping stones. To magically transform a mistake into a blessing is not to deny responsibility, but to claim power over interpretation. You look at what happened and ask, what has this taught me? What skill is being strengthened? What clarity has emerged? And as you search sincerely for value, your mind shifts from punishment to possibility, from shame to growth. And in that shift, the law of attraction begins responding not to failure, but to resilience. Consider how a financial miscalculation might sharpen your discipline, inspire better planning, or reveal hidden expenses that once drained your resources unnoticed. Gratitude for the lesson, even if it arrived wrapped in discomfort, signals to your subconscious that you are evolving. And evolution invites prosperity because it fosters competence and confidence. In relationships, a misunderstanding can become a doorway to deeper communication when approached with humility and appreciation for the chance to understand more fully. Instead of clinging to pride or blame, you choose to value the insight gained, the empathy developed, the boundaries clarified, and this reframing strengthens bonds rather than weakening them, turning what could have fractured connection into an opportunity for intimacy. Health challenges, too, can redirect you toward better habits, greater self-care, and renewed respect for your body. Perhaps a moment of fatigue reminds you to rest, a minor illness prompts dietary changes, or physical discomfort encourages stress reduction. And when you thank your body for signaling its needs rather than condemning it for weakness, you align with healing instead of resistance. The magic lies in recognizing that mistakes are neutral events awaiting your emotional assignment. If you label them as proof of inadequacy, they anchor you to limitation, but if you interpret them as catalysts for refinement, they propel you forward. Gratitude becomes the alchemical agent that transforms leaden regret into golden insight, and each time you practice this alchemy, you strengthen your identity as someone who grows rather than collapses. Visualization now expands to include resilience. You imagine yourself handling challenges with calm wisdom, responding thoughtfully rather than reactively, learning swiftly and moving confidently onward. And this mental rehearsal prepares you for future moments, making it easier to transform setbacks into stepping stones when they arise. Affirmations evolve as well, shifting from declarations of perfection to declarations of progress, reminding you that I am learning, I am improving, I am guided even when I stumble. And these affirmations, infused with sincerity, create a compassionate inner dialogue that supports sustained transformation. Over time, you begin to notice that what once felt like mistakes were actually redirections, subtle course corrections guiding you toward paths better aligned with your purpose. Opportunities you missed may have cleared space for more suitable ones. Relationships that ended may have opened room for healthier connections. Ventures that faltered may have sharpened your skills for future success. And seeing this pattern deepens your trust in the orchestration of your journey. Standing in this awareness, you no longer fear imperfection. Instead, you greet it with curiosity, knowing that within every misstep lies a hidden gift awaiting discovery. And as you continue walking forward, breathing consciously, cueing gratitude, lifting your invisible wand, you feel a steady confidence that nothing in your experience is wasted, that every event can serve your growth when met with appreciation and intention. And in that realization, even your past begins to glow differently, transformed not by denial, but by the magic of meaning you have chosen to assign it. The past now glows differently in your memory, no longer heavy with regret, but illuminated by meaning. And as you stand in that softened understanding of your mistakes transformed into blessings, you begin to notice something even more intimate. The world around you has been reflecting you all along, like a vast and responsive mirror, faithfully echoing the beliefs you hold, the emotions you nurture, the gratitude you practice. And this realization invites you to look not outward first, but inward, because what you see before you is often a reflection of what you have been carrying within. At first, this idea can feel confronting because it suggests responsibility, yet it also offers immense freedom. If life is a mirror, then it is not random, not chaotic, not indifferent, but responsive, and every thought infused with emotion becomes a brushstroke on the glass, shaping the image that returns to you. When you once focused on scarcity, you noticed lack. When you dwelled in frustration, tension seemed to surround you. But as you cultivated gratitude, appreciation began appearing everywhere, as though the mirror had been polished and adjusted to reflect a brighter expression of your inner world. The magic mirror does not judge, it simply reflects. It shows you the energy you are broadcasting, and this awareness becomes one of your greatest tools for personal transformation, because instead of blaming circumstances, you gently ask, what am I consistently thinking? What am I feeling most often? What stories am I telling myself? And in that inquiry, you reclaim your creative authority. Consider your financial life as an example. If you approach money with anxiety, expecting disappointment or struggle, the mirror may reflect hesitation, missed opportunities, or repeated patterns. Yet when you shift toward appreciation for what you have, when you affirm abundance with sincerity, when you visualize prosperity with emotional certainty, the mirror begins reflecting creative ideas, helpful connections, and smoother flow. The external shift follows the internal recalibration. In relationships, the mirror becomes especially revealing. If you carry resentment, defensiveness, or suspicion, those energies subtly shape your interactions, and often you encounter similar attitudes in return. But when you approach others with gratitude, respect, and genuine curiosity, you frequently receive warmth and openness, because people respond to the emotional tone you project, mirroring your expectations back to you. Your health, too, reflects your inner dialogue. If you constantly criticize your body, focusing on its perceived flaws or limitations, tension increases, stress accumulates, and healing feels distant. Yet when you speak kindly to yourself, when you thank your body for its resilience, when you visualize strength and vitality, the mirror begins to show improvement, subtle at first, then more pronounced, reinforcing your belief in the connection between thought and physiology. This is not about perfection. The mirror does not demand flawless positivity, but it does respond to consistency. Occasional doubt will not shatter your manifestations, yet habitual negativity can cloud the reflection. The practice of daily gratitude becomes the act of cleaning the mirror, wiping away the distortions of fear and scarcity so that what returns to you is clearer, brighter, more aligned with your intentions. There is also profound empowerment in recognizing that when something unpleasant appears in the mirror of your life, it is not a sentence but a signal. It invites reflection rather than reaction, curiosity rather than condemnation. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You ask, what is this showing me about my focus, my beliefs, my emotional patterns? And in that gentle questioning, you find the leverage point for change. Affirmations become adjustments to the mirror's angle, deliberate choices to focus on qualities you wish to strengthen. Visualization becomes rehearsal for the reflection you desire to see. Gratitude becomes the polish that keeps the surface clear. And over time, as you refine your inner landscape, the outer world aligns more harmoniously, not through force but through resonance. Standing before this understanding, you feel neither burdened nor overwhelmed, but aware, quietly powerful, because the mirror has always been there, faithfully reflecting without bias. And now that you recognize its presence, You approach each thought with greater care, each emotion with greater intention. You breathe, steady and conscious, knowing that what you cultivate within will return to you amplified. And in that steady awareness, you feel aligned, responsible, and deeply connected to the elegant symmetry between your inner world and the life unfolding around you. Standing before the mirror of your life, aware now that it reflects not just your circumstances but your inner climate, you begin to sense how easy it would be to forget, how quickly old patterns could try to reclaim your focus, how subtly routine can dull awareness. And that is why this moment calls for something deeper than practice alone. It calls for remembrance, a conscious decision to remember the magic that has been guiding you, responding to you, breathing with you, reflecting you all along. To remember the magic is not to recall it as a distant concept or a temporary exercise you once committed to. It is to recognize that gratitude is not an activity confined to certain mornings, that affirmations are not words reserved for specific rituals, that visualization is not imagination detached from reality, but that all of these are threads woven into the fabric of your daily existence, available in every interaction, every challenge, every opportunity. You have seen the evidence, the magnificent results, the transformations before your very eyes, the mistakes that turned into blessings, the mirror that revealed your influence. Forgetting would mean slipping back into unconscious reaction, into automatic complaint, into distracted living. Yet remembering keeps you awake, aware that each thought carries weight, each emotion broadcasts frequency, each grateful whisper strengthens alignment. Remembering the magic is a quiet, powerful act. It may happen as you pause in the middle of a busy day and notice your breath, recalling that the same invisible force sustaining your lungs is orchestrating possibilities around you. It may happen when you catch yourself beginning to worry about money and instead choose to appreciate what you have, trusting that more is unfolding. It may happen when tension rises in a relationship and you deliberately search for something to honor in the other person, shifting the dynamic through a single internal decision. Memory shapes identity, and as you repeatedly remember that you are a creator, a participant in the unfolding of your life rather than a passive observer, you strengthen a new self-concept. You no longer see yourself as someone hoping for change, but as someone capable of initiating it through disciplined gratitude, focused intention, and emotionally charged belief. In your health, remembering the magic might mean choosing nourishing habits not from fear of illness, but from appreciation for vitality. In your finances, it might mean making decisions from confidence rather than scarcity. In your relationships, it might mean offering love without immediate expectation of return, trusting the reflective nature of the mirror. In your personal growth, it might mean viewing each day as an opportunity to refine your alignment rather than a test to endure. There will be moments when distractions are loud, when responsibilities feel heavy, when progress appears slow, and in those moments remembrance becomes your anchor. You recall that the law of attraction responds to your dominant state, that gratitude clears resistance, that affirmations reshape neural pathways, that visualization primes both mind and environment, and this recollection restores your focus gently but firmly. Remembering also invites humility, because it reminds you that magic is not something you control, but something you cooperate with. You set intention, you cultivate emotion, you act with awareness, and then you allow space for the unseen orchestration to unfold in its own timing. This balance between deliberate focus and trusting surrender creates a rhythm that feels both empowered and peaceful. As you continue forward, you may find that remembering becomes easier, more natural, until gratitude arises spontaneously, until appreciation becomes your first response, until you instinctively look for alignment rather than obstacles. The magic then feels less like a practice and more like a way of seeing, a lens through which life reveals its richness. In this quiet awareness, breathing steadily, heart open, mind clear. You sense that nothing extraordinary needs to happen for magic to be present. It is already here, woven into the ordinary, pulsing through your thoughts, echoing through your relationships, circulating through your finances, restoring your body, guiding your growth. And as you gently commit to remembering this truth again and again, you feel a calm, grounded assurance that wherever you go, whatever unfolds, the magic travels with you, not as something fragile to protect, but as something inherent, steady, and endlessly renewing within you. The feeling that has been building within you, breath by breath, gratitude by gratitude, now settles into something deeper than excitement and stronger than hope. Because after remembering the magic, you have tasted what it feels like to live deliberately, to wake up aware that your thoughts are shaping your health, your money, your relationships, your destiny. And so as this journey continues, there is no sense of ending. Only the quiet realization that the practice you have embodied must now become the rhythm of your everyday life, carried forward like a sacred flame you refuse to let extinguish. The magic was never confined to a page or a practice. It was awakened in your perception, in the way you look at your body and whisper thank you for every heartbeat, in the way you approach your work and see opportunity instead of limitation, in the way you speak to the people you love with intention instead of reaction. And that awareness is the true manifestation. Because the law of attraction has always responded not to your wishes alone, but to the emotional frequency you sustain when no one is watching. And now you understand that gratitude is not an occasional ritual, but a living force, something you breathe into your mornings before the world makes its demands, something you return to when challenges appear dressed as problems, because you have learned how to transform mistakes into blessings, how to see delays as redirections, how to feel abundant before the evidence arrives. And that inner shift is what begins to rearrange the outer world in ways that once felt miraculous. The affirmations you have spoken are no longer empty phrases but embodied truths, because repetition has carved belief into your subconscious, and belief has begun to shape action, and action aligned with belief creates momentum, and momentum attracts results. And those results reinforce faith, forming a cycle of personal transformation that touches every dimension of your life. From the vitality in your body to the balance in your bank account to the harmony in your relationships. Carry this awareness into your health by continuing to thank your body even before it is fully healed, because cells respond to appreciation and stress dissolves in the presence of calm gratitude. And the more you visualize yourself strong, energized, and radiant, the more your nervous system begins to align with that image as if it were already true. Carry it into your finances by blessing every dollar that flows in and every dollar that flows out, knowing that money is energy responding to your respect and expectation. And as you feel prosperous now rather than waiting for prosperity later, you dissolve scarcity at its root and invite inspired ideas, new connections, and opportunities that once seemed invisible. Carry it into your relationships by seeing people through the lens of appreciation instead of criticism. Because when you silently acknowledge the qualities you admire in someone, you call more of those qualities forward. And when you become grateful for the love you desire, as if it is already present, you soften your heart and make space for deeper connection. And as you continue this practice daily, something subtle yet powerful unfolds. You begin to trust yourself, not because everything is perfect, but because you recognize your role as co-creator, understanding that every thought is a seed and every emotion is water, and you choose carefully what you plant and what you nourish. There will still be moments of doubt, but even those moments become reminders to return to gratitude, to reset your focus, to realign your energy, because you now know that the magic is not fragile, it is responsive, waiting for your conscious participation. So walk forward with intention, speak with awareness, feel with depth, and allow your life to become evidence of what is possible when spirituality meets daily practice, when visualization meets disciplined gratitude, when affirmation meets courageous action, because this is how transformation sustains itself long after inspiration fades. Let this not be the end of a listening experience, but the beginning of a living experience, where each sunrise feels like an invitation and each night feels like a quiet celebration of unseen progress. And if this journey has stirred something powerful within you, if it has reminded you that you are not merely reacting to life, but shaping it, then share this energy with others who are ready to awaken, like this experience. Pass it forward, and subscribe to CliffNote Chronicles for upcoming audiobooks on the law of attraction, so that together we continue exploring the unseen forces that turn gratitude into miracles and intention into reality. And as you move forward now, feel the steady pulse of appreciation in your chest, steady and certain, guiding you gently into the life you are consciously creating.